There's an open secret at this elite academy. If you ever see a guy wearing a necklace engraved with the letter W, don't you dare mess with him. I happen to wear exactly that necklace. But Blake, who had just skipped class, didn't know. After becoming the school's new top guy, he was eaten alive by jealousy. He rounded up a crew and slashed a 5-centimeter gash across my arm. Right then, the vice principal walks in for an inspection. A yellow-haired student shouts, "The vice principal's here! Stop it, let's get back to class, we can't let him catch us." Blake stands there gripping a box cutter, sneering, "So what? Does a vice principal really think he can go against the Blake family?" He doesn't stop. Instead, he steps closer, knife raised, voice cold with fury. "Consider yourself lucky this time. I wasn't planning to mark that pretty face of yours. But you dodged. Next time, I'll make sure it blooms." Before the words even fade, the vice principal bursts through the door. He takes one look at the scene and starts shaking with rage, especially when he realizes the injured student on the floor is the top of the grade. He explodes. "What is wrong with you? Call your parents. This is going straight to the police." Blake simply sets down the box cutter, watching the vice principal like he's watching a clown. He tilts his chin up, every word deliberate. "I am the young heir of the Blake family, the top family among the 4 elite families. I didn't like the look of him, so I hit him. So what? Call the police. Call the parents. Do whatever you want. Let's see who can actually touch me." The vice principal goes dead silent, face flushing deep red. Everyone in the city knows the Blake family's reach is untouchable. And Blake himself is the most reckless of them all, completely out of control. He's only been here a week and he's already pulling a blade in the top class. I watch the vice principal choke on his own fury, and I just let out a quiet laugh. I stand up and brush the dust off my clothes. Blake had it out for me from day one. 6 days straight he sent people to corner me. If I hadn't taken sick leave, and if Elliot and Flynn hadn't had my back, I would have been cornered 100 times over. Elliot is the eldest son of the Elliot family. Flynn is the young heir of the Flynn family. Both are among the 4 elite families, so Blake has to show them at least some respect. But today, of all days, Elliot is out sick and Flynn has an exam. And so Blake storms straight into my classroom with his crew. And now this. Hank is in tears, begging the vice principal to do something. The vice principal roars at Blake's entire crew to get to the office. Not one of them is leaving. Then he turns to bring me to the infirmary, but I pick up my phone and refuse, cold and calm. "No need, let's go to the office first, I'm fine. I want to see exactly how much power the Blake family actually has." Hank tries again to drag me to the infirmary. I murmur a word of comfort, then turn and walk toward the office. Behind me, Blake scoffs. "Nothing makes me more sick than watching you play it cool." He trails after with his crew in tow. The moment they leave, the classroom goes dead quiet. Only Hank remains, frozen in place, his face pale with worry. He had promised Elliot he'd look after me. He never imagined that the second Elliot walked out, Blake would get this bold. Ridiculous. Blake is jealous of my looks. Too bad there's nothing he can do about his own face. Everyone assumed I came from a regular family. Ever since I topped the grade and became the school's top guy, the rumors about my background never stopped. At Crestholm Academy, everyone is either rich or powerful. The only exception is the scholarship student, and that happens to be me. So last semester, a lot of people looked down on me. It wasn't until Elliot stepped up to protect me that people finally shut their mouths. Now Elliot is gone for 1 day, and Blake crawls out of nowhere. Everyone's convinced I'm finished this time. Just then, the homeroom teacher in the office hears the whole story and his face goes dark as a storm cloud. Everyone has to call their parents. Blake dials his dad without a second thought, immediately claiming he's the one who got bullied. He hangs up, and his crew follows suit, calling their own parents one by one. Every single one of them fearless, because Blake's got their backs. Then Blake has the nerve to drop himself into the teacher's chair, looking at me like he owns the room. "Go ahead and call. Let's see what your parents can actually do to me." "What, are you gonna bring in a nanny?" He laughs like it's all a joke. The homeroom teacher comes over to comfort me and tells me to call my family. I think for a moment, Arya is overseas, so I step out of the office and dial Luna. Right now, Luna has just finished her exam. She picks up, her voice soft as silk. "Why are you suddenly calling me?" I let my voice crack just slightly. "Luna, someone hurt me." On the other end of the line, Luna's expression drops instantly. She breaks into a full sprint toward the school gates, asking where I am as she runs. I tell her I'm at school. She steadies her voice immediately. "Reese, don't be scared. Stay right there. I'll be there in 30 minutes. I hang up and tell her to be careful on the way. But on her end, Luna's eyes go ice cold. She reaches the school gates where teachers are smiling at her. "Luna, done with the exam? Think you got a perfect score?" But she has zero interest in small talk. She dials a number and blows straight through the gates. Behind her, a teacher shouts, "Luna, you're still in the middle of exams." Back in the office, I quietly move to a corner and crouch down. The vice principal and teachers look at me, their hearts clearly breaking, urging me to get my wound treated. I say nothing. Blake watches from the side and sneers. "What, done playing the victim?" His crew stifles laughter behind their hands. "What, did your parents get stuck somewhere out in the countryside?" I ignore all of them. I know Luna is in City C, at least an hour's drive away, but barely 30 minutes later, Blake's parents and his crew's parents are all already here. Blake's stepfather takes one look at him, eyes full of concern. "Are you hurt?" Blake immediately plays it up. "I'm fine, I just beat someone up." The stepfather pats him on the head and actually says, "Good, as long as you're not hurt." Blake's stepmother relaxes too and asks, "Who got injured?" Blake points at me in the corner, completely dismissive. "Just some nobody, no connections worth mentioning." The other parents hear this and visibly relax, not giving me a second thought. The vice principal can't stand it anymore. He steps forward and states firmly that this is school violence involving a weapon used to injure another student, but Blake just cuts him off. "Who asked you to speak? You want to make an enemy of the Blake family?" Then one of the parents steps forward, staring me down with total contempt. 1 million. Leave the city. Blake's stepmother piles on from above. We'll add 5 million, take your family and get out. But before the words even settle, a voice cuts through. Cold, beautiful, and absolutely lethal. 20 billion. All of you get out of my sight before you make me sick. The next second the office door is kicked wide open. Luna's face, sharp and stunning like something out of a manga, appears in the doorway. Her blue-white hair is impossible to ignore. She's wearing a pure white school uniform, her presence cool and untouchable, with several tall bodyguards flanking her from behind. Everyone in the room freezes. Turns out Luna had floored it the entire way here. Her special license plates meant no one dared stop her, and she made it in 30 minutes flat. The moment she heard what those people said, fury floods into her eyes. Then Luna lets out a slow, chilling laugh from the back of her throat. Well, have you thought it through? 20 billion. Blake's mother's face twists with fury. She jabs a finger at Luna and snarls, "Where did this little brat come from talking so big?" Just then, the homeroom teacher notices Luna shares about half my features. He ventures carefully, "Are you Reese's guardian?" Luna walks toward me without breaking stride. "I'm his sister." The vice principal rushes over to explain everything, trying to smooth things over. But the moment he finishes describing what was done to me, Luna's temper ignites. "Save it." Her gaze sweeps the room like frost. "Can't you see they were hurting my brother?" Then she turns to me, and every trace of that coldness vanishes. She crouches down in front of me, gently takes my hand, her voice dropping so soft it's like she's afraid to startle me. "Reese, let me help you up, okay?" I look up into her face, full of nothing but worry for me, and I can't hold it together anymore. I throw myself into her arms, my voice trembling. "Luna, they hurt me." But Blake scoffs from the side, absolutely bewildered. "Are you serious? I kicked you, you didn't even flinch, and now you're crying? You even tried to show me how to use the knife." His crew joins in immediately. "Exactly. Who are you performing for?" Another one sneers. "Crestholm's golden boy. Scared now, huh?" I feel Luna's arms tighten around me. She looks at the wound on my hand and the marks on my face, and the ache in her eyes is about to spill over. She holds me tighter. "It's okay now, Reese. I'm here." The next second, she pulls me to my feet and walks me swiftly to the car waiting at the door. Then she reaches into the car and pulls out a blue and white diamond necklace engraved with the letter W. She fastens it around my neck, gentle as ever. "Reese, from now on, live loud in City C. If anything goes wrong, I'll take the fall." I look down at the necklace resting against my chest, and everything clicks. This necklace is the symbol of the Moore family, one of a kind. Luna's is engraved with Y, mine is W for my safety. She had been keeping it with her all this time. I had planned to stay in City A for 2 more years, but now I know my time here is up. Luna gently ruffles my hair and tells me to wait in the car like a good boy. I nod obediently. The moment the car door shuts, every trace of vulnerability vanishes from my face. In its place comes a slow, cold smile. Luna's furious now. The only unfortunate part is that I have to go back to City C. I wasn't done having fun here. Meanwhile, back in the office, the real show is just getting started. The moment Luna walks in, she doesn't say a word. She just kicks Blake straight to the ground. The bodyguards immediately block his parents from moving. His crew doesn't get a chance either. Luna plants one foot on his back. Blake writhes and struggles. One look from Luna, and 2 bodyguards step forward, grabbing him by the hair, binding him with thick rope, and stuffing a dirty rag in his mouth. Clean, efficient, effortless. The principal tries to step in. One glance from Luna shuts him up instantly. "Who said my brother is staying at this school?" That look alone is enough to keep him from saying another word. The next second, Luna calmly pulls on a pair of gloves. She takes the box cutter from the bodyguard and taps the flat of the blade against Blake's cheek. Her voice is ice. "I heard you wanted to carve up my brother's face. Why don't you try it first?" The blade turns. A thin red line opens across his left cheek. Then, with a flick of her wrist, another across his right. But Blake's fool of a mother still has the nerve to scream. She jabs a finger at Luna. "The Blake family is the top of the 4 elite families. Let my son go right now, and we'll let you walk out of here in one piece." Luna hears this and laughs, sharp and dismissive. She tosses the box cutter aside and wipes her hands with a calm, graceful motion, but her eyes are cold as ice. "The Blake family? What exactly is that worth? My people have you pinned right now. Are you sure that's how you want to talk to me?" The words barely land before Luna snaps her fingers. The bodyguards press down harder. Blake's mother goes white with pain, but doesn't dare make a sound. Luna's presence fills the entire room. She lets out a cold laugh. "You want to talk family status? Fine, let me make this very clear before you go down. You said I can't touch the Blake family? Allow me to introduce myself. I live in City C." The moment City C leaves her lips, every face in the Blake family changes. Everyone knows that any single family from City C could crush this entire city without breaking a sweat. But Luna isn't done. She steps forward slowly. "My name is Moore. I am the second daughter of the Moore family, and my brother is the one and only young heir of the Moore family." The entire office goes dead silent. The Moore family, the second most powerful dynasty in the country, right behind the Zhao group at the top. The Moore group, known for being ruthless and fiercely protective of their own. And I am the one heir the entire Moore family holds in the palm of their hand. Blake's stepmother is completely frozen, still trying to push back. "Impossible! Why would the Moore family ever come here?" Luna lets out a sharp laugh. The next second, she reaches into her uniform and pulls out a necklace. Blue and white diamonds, engraved with the letter Y, bearing the unmistakable crest of the Moore family. The stepmother's face drains completely white. Her knees nearly buckle as she stumbles forward. "Miss Moore, this is all a misunderstanding, I swear." But Luna doesn't even bother to glance at her. She speaks without turning. "A misunderstanding? I just came to back up my brother. Whatever happened, I don't need the details. The parents of Blake's crew go pale with fear. One of them scrambles to distance himself. Miss Moore, we had nothing to do with this. My kid never touched your brother. Luna hears this and her eyes ignite. Don't worry, every single accomplice is going down with him. Before the words even fade, the office door is shoved open and several police officers storm in. They slap handcuffs on Blake and his entire crew and march them out. Then Luna turns to the vice principal, who is visibly trembling beside her. A faint, cold smile crosses her lips. I'm not satisfied with how the school handled this. I'll take it from here. The vice principal nods frantically, swearing he won't interfere and that everything will stay quiet. That same night, Arya makes her move. The entire city gets reshuffled. The so-called 4 elite families are reevaluated from the ground up. The Blake family is stripped from the list entirely. One night, and the whole world flips upside down. 2 days later, Luna comes to bring me back to City C. Even Arya, who is always buried in work, flies back home just to spend a day with me. I let out a quiet sigh. I had planned to lay low in City A for 2 years and come back for senior year. Never thought it would all fall apart like this. Oh well, if I'm back, I'm back. Nobody in City C would dare touch me anyway. Next step, transfer schools. Luna attends Maplewood High, which is a Moore family property. But I don't want to run into anyone I know, so I choose Maplewood's biggest rival, Thornfield High. Both sisters let me have my way. The next morning, I get ready to head to my new school. The moment I step outside, 2 rows of staff stand at attention and bow in unison. We wish the young master a wonderful first day. The familiar scene almost makes me laugh. Luna, on the other hand, is completely unfazed. She opens the car door for me without missing a beat. 20 minutes later, the car pulls to a stop. I stare at the sign that reads Thornfield High, my face blank. Then I turn to look next door. That's Maplewood High. I instinctively look away and snap my head to the other side. Luna's blue and white hair is way too easy to spot. The car stops cleanly in front of Thornfield High. Luna steps out and walks quickly around to my side. She pulls open my door with care, a soft smile on her lips. Reese, we're here. I give her my sweetest smile. Bye, Luna, but she grabs my arm, still worried. Maplewood is right next door. Call me the second anything happens. Even if nothing's wrong, call me. I'm always on call. I nod and turn toward the gate. I walk in and don't look back. Only once I've completely disappeared from view does Luna's smile drop in an instant. She heads straight next door to Maplewood. Meanwhile, the homeroom teacher leads me to Class A, reportedly the top class in the entire grade. The homeroom teacher asks me to introduce myself. I step up to the front and barely get out. Hi, my name is, before a sharp voice cuts me off. A guy in the back lets out a cold laugh. Great, a transfer student dropping in from nowhere. Don't go messing up what we've built here. But before I can respond, the homeroom teacher cuts in with a sweep of the room. Reese's scores are better than every single one of yours. At his previous school, he topped the grade every single time. The moment that lands, the buzzcut guy shoots to his feet, face flushed red, and apologizes to me. The energy in the room shifts immediately. I give a small smile to let him know it's fine. Then I turn back to the class and speak slowly. Hi everyone, my name is Reese. I transferred from City A. Hope we get along. I keep the warm smile steady on my face. This whole routine is something I carefully crafted as my new image. Back at Crestholm, I was the school's top guy. I had Luna covering my back. Who would dare come at me? But now Luna is right next door. All I want is to be a normal, unremarkable student. But the second I finish speaking, the whole class goes quiet for a beat, then erupts into applause. Whispers ripple through the room immediately. I catch a few words. Miss Ash, what's going on? Just then, the homeroom teacher speaks up and points to an empty seat in the second to last row. Reese, take that seat. At that, the class immediately erupts. He's sitting next to Miss Ash? Is he not scared of getting kicked out of his seat? Miss Ash hasn't even shown up in a week. But the next comment stops me cold. Doesn't matter if she skips. She still tops the grade every single time. My stomach drops. This seatmate of mine, who hasn't even shown her face, is clearly not someone to underestimate. While I'm still standing there stunned, a well-mannered guy actually stands up on his own and carries my heavy stack of books to my new seat. I rush to thank him. He turns to me with a warm smile. Hey, I'm Elliot. I smile back, already liking him. But the next second, I notice a pen sitting on the empty desk beside me, the exact same limited edition model as mine. And just like that, I have a pretty good idea. This seatmate of mine is absolutely someone you don't want to cross. Just then, the homeroom teacher taps the desk to get everyone's attention. But a girl in the class calls out loudly, "Teacher, you forgot to say, ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention in class." The whole class bursts out laughing. To everyone's surprise, the teacher just smiles and plays along. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention in class. I'm completely stunned. This class has such good energy. My old school was nothing but cutthroat competition and fake smiles. That's why I skipped every day. But this place actually makes me feel something. Elliot slides a test paper over to me. I glance at it and immediately see it's way too easy. Painfully boring, so I just start doodling all over it. When I finally get tired of drawing, I happen to glance at my seatmate's book. A breeze flips it open to a page with a single word written on it. Shen. The handwriting is elegant but sharp, and it hits me like a hammer straight to the chest. How is that the word? How is that the handwriting? With a soft click, the pen slips from my hand and hits the floor. Only one thought fills my mind. Didn't she say she was going to school in the South? I came here specifically because of that. We haven't seen each other in almost a year, but that single word yanks me back to middle school. A bright, bold girl propping her chin in her hands, pouting as she calls out to me. Reese? Back then I had asked her Thornfield or Maplewood. She bit her lip, clearly upset. But if we're at different schools, I can't see you every second of the day anymore. I want to see you every single day. And because of that one line, my heart gave in. Then we'll both go to Maplewood. She finally broke into a grin. Whatever Reese says, I'll be the one protecting you. Right then, Elliot's voice pulls me back. Hey, your pen fell. I take it from him. My thoughts a complete mess. No. It can't be her. She promised she was going to Maplewood, but before I even finish convincing myself, I turn my head and lock eyes with a furious glare through the window. A teacher is staring me down with burning intensity. The next second he shouts, "You, brown hair, get out here! Who gave you permission to dye your hair? Come to my office after class." I'm completely thrown. Thornfield doesn't allow dyed hair? I've had this brown hair for almost a year. The bell rings and I quickly turn to Elliot. "Who is that teacher?" Elliot looks up with a serious expression. "That's the Dean of Discipline. Dye it back fast, or you're writing a formal apology." Thornfield is famously strict for the first 2 years. My stomach sinks. I didn't expect the rules to be this tight, but then again, the rules only apply to the first 2 years. Next door at Maplewood, the students walk around with every color of the rainbow in their hair and nobody bats an eye. So I quickly ask Elliot, "Where is the Dean of Discipline's office?" To my surprise, Elliot packs up his paper and stands. "Forget it, I'll take you." He turns to his seatmate Zara to cover for him. She gives him a cheerful little salute. "Yes sir, Class President Elliot sir." Elliot pulls me downstairs all the way to the office door, then stops. He leans in quietly. "Just tell him you're a transfer student and didn't know the rules. He won't give you a hard time. I'll wait out here." Something warm settles in my chest. I thank him, take a slow breath, and push through the door. What I don't know is that at this very moment, out at the school entrance, a storm is quietly gathering. A girl with dark red hair leans against the wall, clearly done with waiting. Just then, another girl comes sprinting toward her, tablet in hand, with a sly grin. "Ash, guess what I just saw?" Before Ash can even react, the girl blurts it out herself. "You have a seatmate now, and he's a male transfer student." The air freezes. Everyone at Thornfield knows Ash hates having a seatmate more than anything, but she is the school board director's own daughter. No one in the entire school dares to cross her. Dyeing her hair, skipping class, getting into fights, she does it all, and the school never says a word. When she's in a good mood, she'll casually top the grade without even trying. But when she's in a bad mood, she makes everyone's life miserable. The moment she hears a guy has been seated next to her, one thought flashes through her mind. There is only one male she would ever sit beside. Her expression goes stone cold. She bites out a few words. "Let's go see. I know absolutely none of this." Back in Class A, the room has already exploded. Ash, Vera, Serena, all three of the legendary heiresses have shown up at once. Zara doesn't hold back. "Ash, what made you actually come to school today?" Vera throws an arm around Serena's shoulder, grinning with clear intent. "Isn't it obvious? She's here to check out the new transfer student." The next second, Ash's eyes lock onto my seat. When she sees the books and pen, clearly belonging to a guy, her expression goes dark enough to drip. Not a single person in class dares to breathe. Everyone thinks the same thing. This transfer student is finished. Just then, Vera speaks up. "Where did the person sitting here go?" Zara answers. "Left on leave sometime after 8. Probably won't be back until around 11. Before the words even finish, Serena walks forward without a word and moves my entire desk and chair to the very back of the room. Zara opens her mouth to say something, but one look from Vera stops her cold. With the seat beside her now empty, Ash's expression finally softens. She leans back lazily. "Whatever, we'll deal with it later." And just like that, the bell rings. My desk is sitting in the back of the room, and I'm still off dealing with the Dean of Discipline, completely unaware of the storm waiting for me. I head back to school with a bag of candy I had picked out earlier, still clueless about what's ahead. The moment I reach the building, my best friend calls. She wants to sneak in and hang out, but the next second she shrieks on the other end of the line. She just remembered a date with her senior. "You always ditch me for a guy." I hang up and turn around, and catch a glimpse of 3 figures heading toward the school gate. The girl with dark red hair among them. Her back looks annoyingly familiar, but I don't think much of it and walk straight into Class A. But the moment I step through the door, my jaw drops. Where is my seat? The spot where I sat is completely empty. My entire desk and chair have been thrown to the very back of the room. I immediately find Elliot. He tells me quietly. It was my seatmate, the one I've never even met. She doesn't like having a seatmate. Fair enough, honestly pretty bold. But I don't pay attention in class anyway, so it doesn't matter where I sit. I walk to the back row and barely sit down before the bell rings. The math teacher walks in holding a stack of papers and drops a bombshell. "Zara, first place, 129 points. The only student in the entire school to break 120. The whole class erupts into applause. Even Elliot, sitting right beside her, looks completely starstruck. "Zara, that's insane. You're incredible." Even Elliot admits with a sigh that he didn't break 120 himself, but Zara just laughs it off. "Just got lucky." I clap along with everyone else, completely unmoved inside. Then the papers are handed out. The class immediately descends into groans. "Only 106? Was that last question even meant for humans?" But the teacher says their class average is still the highest in the school. While everyone is still buzzing with complaints, the teacher suddenly goes quiet. He clears his throat and goes straight into explaining the final question, the one nobody in the entire school got right. What makes it worse is that he likes to call on students. The next second, his eyes sweep the room and land straight on me. "The student with brown hair. You're the transfer student, right?" My stomach drops, but I stand up anyway. "I'm Reese." The teacher nods, a small smile on his face. But what comes next makes the entire class hold their breath. "Then Reese, walk us through how you'd solve this problem." I pick up the paper completely calm. Sure, this problem? I covered it back in middle school. Advanced math is nothing to me. With the entire class watching in stunned silence, I begin. A full 20 minutes. When I finish, the room is dead silent. Then the gasps start rolling in. What the? This transfer student is something else. He has a second solution method. Isn't that something they don't even teach until senior year? Even the math teacher looks genuinely impressed. He leads the applause himself. Reese. Both solutions completely correct. I've barely sat back down when the bell rings, and before I can even move, a crowd of classmates swarms around me, everyone rushing to introduce themselves. I keep the warm smile going and say I'll remember each of them. A girl with bright eyes looks up at me. Reese, that was amazing. That question was so hard and you just solved it like that. I almost blurt out, it wasn't that hard. How did none of you get it? But I catch myself and redirect. Thanks for the kind words. I just happened to have seen it before, but her next line makes me the center of the entire class. I think our top of the grade is about to change. I just blink and keep it modest. I'll do my best. Another girl sidles over with a smile, and the rest of the class is just as warm. Reese, anything you need, just come to me. Money is the one thing I never run short on. While everyone's still competing for my attention, someone suddenly shifts gears. Reese, how come you haven't dyed your hair back? I nod slowly. Yeah, about that. Someone else jumps in immediately. Thornfield is really strict about hair. Only seniors and one other person dare to break that rule. One person? I immediately think of the dark red hair I spotted at the school gate. Just then, someone leans in with a mysterious look, lowering their voice. Do you know why your desk got moved? But before the sentence is even finished, Zara drifts over casually, shooting that person a cold sideways glance. Her voice is slow and flat. You really want to talk about her? That shuts them up immediately. They laugh it off and change the subject. I feel a flicker of irritation. Why did she cut that off? But I keep my face neutral and act merely curious. Sure enough, someone else immediately leans in and drops their voice. Your original seatmate is the school tyrant, the most notorious person at Thornfield. Terrible temper. Never lets anyone sit beside her. The second she showed up this morning, she moved your desk. And that's not all. They drop an even bigger bombshell. The two girls sitting behind you now, they're two of Thornfield's 4 top girls. And your original seatmate, school tyrant and top girl. That's when it clicks. I've been placed right next to the most untouchable people in the entire school. They notice no one's stopping them and keep going, getting more and more into it, now giving me a full rundown of City C's major families. I listen to the gossip, but my mind is working through something else entirely. Who exactly is this school tyrant? Just as I reach for my phone to look it up, a sharp voice cuts through the room. Which school did you transfer from? I look up. It's Cole, the guy from earlier introductions. He's standing with his arms crossed, eyes full of scrutiny. I smile lightly and answer with 3 words. Crestholm Academy. The moment it lands, the whole class erupts. Crestholm, the elite academy that only the children of the 4 elite families can enter. Cole's face falls instantly, and the way the rest of the class looks at me shifts, just a little more respect in their eyes. I get added to the class group chat, but just as everyone is about to head to lunch, Elliot, who never initiates anything with anyone, actually turns to me. I'll take you to the cafeteria. Half the class nearly drops their jaws, because this is Elliot, the guy who never makes the first move with anyone. I smile and say, sure, thanks, Elliot. And just like that, we walk out side by side. The second we step into the hallway, my brown hair ignites the entire corridor. What the? A first year with dyed hair? I got reported just for doing a tiny streak of pink. How is he walking around free? Exactly. Besides Miss Ash, who else in year 1 would be this bold? The next second, a guy in a pink shirt, clearly one of the school's top guys, snaps his head up. Who do you think you are? Shut your mouth. The guy who was talking takes one look at who said it and goes white instantly, stammering out, Leo. So that's Leo, the second son of the Luo family. The one who's been spoiled, so rotten by his family that no one at Thornfield dares touch him. Leo lets out a cold huff and strolls off with his friend. I watch his back and fall into thought. By the time we reach the cafeteria, Elliot is looking at me with bright eyes. He speaks again. Reese, you really went to Crestholm? I nod. Yeah. Elliot immediately lets out a stunned breath, voice full of envy. Crestholm is the kind of place where even getting to stand outside the gate feels like an achievement. We talk the whole way there. The Thornfield cafeteria is massive. 5 buildings, 6 floors each, with more food options than you can count. The moment Elliot sits down, curiosity gets the better of him. Reese, your brown hair. The dean of discipline didn't say anything? I shake my head, completely calm. He did, but it's fine. Elliot sees my total indifference and decides not to push it. After lunch, I head back to Westview Estate alone and lie on my bed, but something nags at me. I sit up, grab my phone, and pull up Thornfield's school network. I search school tyrant, nothing. I search top girl, still nothing. How is that possible? Every trace has been completely wiped. Then it hits me. Thornfield is a Shen family property. No matter how powerful someone is, can they really outrank the Shen family? Unless an impossible name flashes through my mind. No, she's supposed to be at the same school as Luna. I just shut my phone off and go to sleep. By the time I wake up, school is almost over. I rush to the classroom and barely sit down before the final bell rings. But right then, my phone buzzes. It's my cousin Rosie. I step out of the classroom to answer. Her bright voice rings through the speaker. Reese, I heard you're back in the city. I smile and confirm it, but I can hear loud noise on her end. Where are you? Why is it so loud? Rosie drops her voice, clearly resigned. Internet cafe. Then she pivots immediately. Reese, you're at Maplewood, right? I'm coming to find you. I answer sweetly, I'm at Thornfield. Rosie pauses. Why are you at Thornfield? Luna and I are both at Maplewood. I brush it off casually. Heard Thornfield has better discipline. She doesn't push it. Fine. You're in Class A, right? Wait for me after school. I'll sneak in and find you. The final class has just ended when I look up and spot a figure in a cap and a blue-collar uniform standing at the classroom door. She lifts her head, and from under the brim of the cap spills a head of bold gray-pink hair. It's Rosie. I immediately walk over with a grin. Rosie, she snaps her head up, revealing a strikingly beautiful face, dark eyes clear and warm. The hallway fills with sharp gasps. Oh my, she's gorgeous. Who is she? These two are seriously bold, dyed hair and everything. Then someone shrieks, wait, isn't that the Song family's Rosie? Maplewood's top girl? How did she get in here? While everyone's still buzzing, Rosie strides forward and grabs my arm. Reese, let's go eat. I nod with a smile and follow her out. I can't help myself. Rosie, where did you get that uniform? She grins, clearly pleased with herself. The lady at the gate gave it to me. We go way back. But just then, a sharp voice explodes behind us. Hey, you two up front with the dyed hair. My stomach drops. I turn around. The Dean of Discipline is standing right in our path, face dark as a storm. We're done. Her eyes lock onto me first. Transfer student. Didn't I tell you this morning to dye your hair back? Then she swings toward Rosie, eyes narrowing. And who are you? How did you get in here? My heart shoots straight into my throat. But Rosie looks completely innocent, almost offended as she meets the dean's eyes with total conviction. Teacher, you don't remember me? I'm one of Thornfield's model students. I nearly burst out laughing on the spot. The dean actually freezes, her whole face full of doubt, but she recovers quickly and jabs a finger at our hair. I don't care who you are, Thornfield does not allow dyed hair. Rosie immediately straightens up, the picture of sincerity. Of course, teacher, we completely understand. I play along instantly, putting on my most cooperative smile. Don't worry, teacher, I'll have it dyed back by the 32nd. Rosie nods furiously. Exactly. Teacher, by the 32nd you'll see perfectly black hair on both of us. The dean nods, visibly satisfied. Good, then you two. Before she can finish, Rosie seizes my hand and we spin around and sprint full speed toward the school gate. Watching us bolt, the dean snaps back to reality and stamps her foot in fury. Wait, there is no 32nd in May. You two stop right there. Her furious shouting chases us from behind, but we just run faster. Meanwhile, across town at a restaurant, Vera glances at the time and jumps to her feet. Ash, my dad just got back to the country. I need to disappear. Ash slowly puts down her phone. One word. Okay. Serena rises cleanly. All three walk out of the restaurant side by side. They've barely hit the street when Ash reaches into her pocket and pops a lollipop into her mouth. Vera leans in. Ladies, we are all going to class tomorrow like good students. My dad is back, and if I skip again, he's going to destroy me. Ash responds with total indifference. Serena looks at Vera and says softly, whatever you want. Just then, they happen to pass by a school. Suddenly, a guy in overalls gets shoved forward by his friend, stumbling right in front of Ash. He has a center-parted haircut and squeaks out, hey, what are you doing? Then he takes a deep breath, lifts his head, and looks at Ash with a shy smile. Hi, can I get your number? Vera immediately perks up and throws an arm around Serena's shoulder, whispering with a wicked grin. Tisk, tisk, tisk. You see this? With a face like Ash's, I'd do the same thing if I were a guy. Serena stares at her, completely done, but Ash just clicks her tongue once and bites through the lollipop. Her cold eyes drift over him without any real interest. 3 words, flat as stone, not interested. But the center part guy isn't giving up. He keeps going. Just one contact, please. Ash's patience is visibly gone. She flicks the lollipop stick into the trash, and the temperature around her seems to drop, her eyes sharp enough to cut. The guys stumble backward. Then Ash doesn't even spare them a glance. She walks straight around them and keeps moving. The center part guy watches her go, muttering under his breath with a dejected look. Why so cold? But the next second he actually pivots and aims for Vera and Serena instead. Can I get either of your numbers? Vera and Serena lock eyes. Both freeze. This guy has absolutely no shame. They politely decline and pick up the pace to catch up with Ash, leaving the center part guy stomping the ground in frustration. His friend mutters quietly beside him. Didn't that girl look a lot like the Vera? The center part guy scoffs. You've never even seen her. How would you know what she looks like? But even as he says it, Kane isn't so sure himself. He had only seen Vera once, at her 10th birthday party. After that, he never had another chance to attend that kind of gathering. Could that really have been her just now? Ash and the others split up and head home. The next day, at the entrance of Thornfield High, Rosie and I have just bolted through the school gate when I spot Luna standing there waiting. The moment she sees me, her cold expression melts completely, and a soft smile pulls at her lips. That one smile is enough to detonate the entire crowd. Oh wow, Luna is stunning. Rosie's here too. How did she come out of our school? Wait, who is Luna waiting for? Why is she walking toward that guy? Everyone in City C knows that Luna is famously difficult, yet she's also Maplewood's highest voted top girl, and right beside her stands Rosie of the Song family. Our families go way back. Rosie and I grew up together as cousins. In this city, no one dares to mess with either of them. Yet here are both of Maplewood's biggest names standing with some random guy. I walk over to Luna quickly, calling out to her with my sweetest tone. She looks down at me and gently ruffles my hair. Reese, let's go home. But Rosie speaks up. Luna, let me take Reese around the area for a bit. Luna hesitates. Rosie immediately puts a hand to her chest and promises, trust me, Reese hasn't been back to the city in forever. I'll show him around. I'll have him home before 8, guaranteed. Only then does Luna nod. Fine, keep him safe, and don't take him anywhere like a pool hall. With Luna's approval, I follow Rosie obediently. We climb into her sports car. The engine has barely started when the buzz of voices hits me from behind. She let him sit in the front seat? No guy ever gets to sit there. I think only Luna's ever sat in that seat. The chatter swarms like flies. I don't bother. I look over at Rosie. Where are we going? She smiles. I'll show you around. 10 minutes later, the car pulls up in front of a massive shopping mall. Rosie opens my door. After you, young master. We head straight to the arcade on the 3rd floor. I've done all this plenty of times back in City A, but I still run excitedly to the claw machine. Rosie, I want to play this one. She immediately exchanges a huge stack of coins for me, but after several tries, I can't get a single one. I puff out my cheeks in frustration. I really thought I'd gotten better. Rosie pats my shoulder. Take it easy. Just keep trying. I go again. The claw almost has it, then drops. I refuse to accept this. I switch machines and try over 10 more times. Still nothing. This machine keeps faking me out. A crowd is gathering now, and someone actually laughs. A little kid in a tiny suit points straight at me and shouts, "Look, that guy's tried 30 times and still can't get one." So dumb. The older boy standing beside him, hair pulled back in a wolf tail, grabs him immediately. "Pip, apologize right now." But Pip isn't having any of it. He pulls a face and bolts. "I'm not apologizing. Mom says I'm the most precious young master of the Luo family." Kane is absolutely seething, but he still turns to give me an apology. Then he sees me and freezes. He looks at Rosie standing next to me and completely short circuits. Rosie, at a mall, with a guy. The image is too surreal to process. He stutters out an apology. "Sorry about that. My brother's been spoiled rotten. Please don't mind him." I wave it off and go back to fighting the machine. It's fine. Rosie gives Kane one icy glance which sends a visible shiver through him. He rushes off after Pip. Then Rosie steps up beside me and says simply, "Let me." She slides in 2 coins. The claw descends, closes perfectly around a small bear, and she hands it straight to me. I stand there completely baffled. How did she get it on the first try? But I take the bear anyway, and look up at her with wide eyes. "Rosie, you're incredible!" Sure enough, the compliment works. Her mood visibly lifts. "Good, glad you like it. Let's try something else." Just then, a girl nearby makes a pointed comment to the guy beside her. "See? She got it on the first try." I glance over. The girl is dressed like old money. The guy beside her is scratching his head, embarrassed. "Babe, this isn't really my thing." Then he stops mid-sentence and shouts like he's seen a ghost. "Oh my, Rosie!" He walks straight up to Rosie, all smiles. "Rosie, you might not know me, but I'm the 3rd son recently recognized by the Ann family." Rosie stops and looks him over with an amused tilt of her head. "Ah, the Ann family's outside son. Yeah, never heard of you." One sentence and Rex's smile locks up completely. I'm dying inside. An outside son really just tried to connect with Rosie. The girl beside him catches up to the situation and turns on Rex with clear disgust. "Hey, just stop it." Rex snaps a glare at her. "Don't push me." And that sets her off. "You dare glare at me? You dare snap at me? We're done. I have been over this for a long time." Rex panics the second he hears the word done. He completely forgets about Rosie and chases after her. "Babe, I didn't mean it like that. Don't call me that. You don't deserve to." Rosie doesn't give the whole scene a single glance. She takes me straight up to the 4th floor food court. She gets in line to buy me bubble tea, and her face alone causes a scene, screams, stares, and a few bold guys trying to get her number. I sit in a chair scrolling through my phone, bored, turning down several girls who come over asking for my number. Suddenly, Kane's voice cuts across the floor. "Pip, don't you run!" I look up and almost laugh. Kane is dragging Pip toward me, furious. "Pip, what you did back there was wrong. You're going to apologize right now or I'm never taking you out again. And I'm telling my second brother." The moment Pip hears those 2 words, second brother, his entire attitude collapses. His eyes go watery and he looks up at Kane desperately. "Kane, please don't tell him. Don't cut my allowance. I still need to buy so many games." But Kane doesn't budge. The next second he drags Pip right in front of me and makes him apologize. Pip looks like he swallowed something sour. He mutters out a half-hearted, "Sorry." His entire face screams, "I was forced." That lazy apology lights Kane's fuse. He pulls out his phone. "Apologize properly or I'm calling my second brother right now." That does it. Pip goes pale and drops into a full 90-degree bow, voice suddenly loud and clear. "I'm so sorry, mister. You are so handsome and I truly, truly know I was wrong." The couples nearby hide their smiles behind their hands. I watch the whole thing and can't help the smile that tugs at my own mouth. Just then, Rosie walks over with the bubble tea. She lets out a quiet laugh and hands me the cup with the straw already in. I take it without a fuss. "Thank you, Rosie." Pip watches this exchange and cautiously tugs at Kane's sleeve. "Kane, are we good?" Kane waves a hand. "Yeah, we're done here." He gives me a nod, then turns and walks off with Pip. We stay until nearly 7. Rosie takes me for dinner and then drops me home. The next day arrives and I sleep right through my alarm. By the time I could get there, it would already be 4th period. But after thinking about it, I decide to go anyway. I put on a plain white tee, pair it with my most innocent expression, and pull off the look of someone completely harmless. Thankfully, I don't run into the Dean of Discipline on the way. It's break time, so I walk into Class A, and the moment I step through the door, the entire room goes silent. Every pair of eyes bounces back and forth between me and my seatmate's desk. Students who had gotten up actually sit back down, clearly settling in for a show. I find it odd, but don't overthink it. I plan to drop my bag and head back out, but then I casually glance up and see a girl sitting at the desk beside mine. My pupils contract instantly. The vibe is different, but I recognize her in 1 second flat. How is her hair dyed? How did she end up like this? No, how is she at Thornfield? And in my class, question after question detonates in my head. I can't move. Right then, Vera, who heard the shift in the room, glances toward me without thinking. That one look, and her eyes go wide with total disbelief. The next second, she slams her hand on the desk and shoots to her feet. She lets out a sharp curse. "Oh, damn!" The noise makes Ash, sitting up front, furrow her brows. She doesn't even look up. just a cold scoff. Seriously? The whole class is lost. What's going on? Does Vera know the transfer student? Then Serena, sitting right beside Vera, looks up too. She follows Vera's gaze and lands on me. Serena, who never loses her composure, can't hold it either. What the? She stands up too, eyes locked on me. The four of us go all the way back, from elementary school through middle school, 10 full years together. But right before the high school entrance exams, Ash vanished without a word. Then she came back, and it was my turn to disappear. No one could find me. Then later, when they saw Ash again, she had dark red hair and had become the tyrant that makes all of Thornfield tremble. Serena snaps back to the present and looks at Ash, who is sitting up front acting like none of this concerns her. She can't help it. She calls out quietly, "Ash." Vera comes back to herself too and shouts with urgency, "Ash, put the phone down." Ash up front finally sets it down and looks up, impatient. What? The next second, our eyes meet. Ash shoots to her feet and closes the distance between us, her gaze blazing hot enough to melt something. My whole body locks up. I step back without thinking, but I can't look away from those deep, dark eyes. How is she at Thornfield? And in my class of all places? Reese? Just 2 words, voice trembling, carrying the burning weight of something lost and found, and the entire room detonates. My chest tightens. My eyes sting for no reason I can name. She is fixed on me completely, not a flicker of hesitation, the teardrop mole at the corner of her left eye making her look dangerously stunning. That relentless, desperate look of someone who has found back what they lost. I can't face it, so I wrench my gaze away, shove her back with both hands without hesitation, and bolt out of the classroom like my life depends on it. The entire class freezes solid. Ash just got shoved, in front of everyone, and there is not a single trace of anger on her face. Instead, she watches my panicked escape with a slow smile pulling at her lips. Then she takes one long stride forward and follows me out. The whole class watches until both of us are gone. Then Class A absolutely loses it. What just happened? The transfer student shoved Ash, and Ash didn't get mad. She chased after him. Something is definitely going on with these two. Every eye in the room snaps to Vera and Serena, who are still standing there. Vera, Serena, don't you dare play dead. Start talking. Don't make me get down on my knees and beg. Faced with the entire class's desperate, hungry curiosity, Vera lets out a quiet sigh. She doesn't say a word. Instead, she stands up under every stare in the room and drags the desk behind Serena's forward, right next to Ash's spot. It hits the floor with a heavy thud. The 2 desks are now locked together. Once that's done, she calmly returns to her seat. So Reese was the transfer student all along. If they had known the name sooner, Ash wouldn't have gotten it wrong yesterday. Serena, meanwhile, straightens her things and sits back down. She, the most composed person in the room, had just completely fallen apart. Zara senses a bombshell of historic proportions. She rubs her fingertips together and finally speaks, breaking the silence. "Don't push Serena." The moment she does, a flood of questions crashes down. "Wait, you actually know him?" Serena lost it. "Who is this transfer student? Ash just called him Reese. What kind of relationship is that?" Just then, Zara slaps her thigh and gasps. "I just remembered. Yesterday the transfer student said his name was Reese. Ash's name is Ash Shen. Their names sound like a couple's name." The entire class draws a sharp breath. He could have just introduced himself normally, but instead, it sounds like they matched their names on purpose. Zara is convinced she's just cracked the biggest secret of the year. She turns to Serena. "So what exactly is going on between them?" Serena's expression softens. Her voice takes on a rare warmth. Vera thinks for a moment, then drops the first bomb. "He's our friend. 10 years. The class is stunned. Before anyone can process that, Zara pushes further. "Okay, so he's your friend. But what about Ash?" Vera and Serena exchange a look. Their expressions shift, suddenly completely serious. They speak at the same time, and the real bombshell lands. "He has Ash's line." Serena seems to feel that isn't quite enough to land the full impact, so she adds one more cut. "He and Ash have known each other since birth, longer than they've known either of us." Class A goes absolutely insane. Childhood friends with all 3 of the heiresses, the tyrant's one line, known since birth. Any one of those facts alone would be enough to make every person in City C sick with envy. Meanwhile, at the second-floor stairwell, I finally stop running. That shove back there was pure instinct. Now that my head is clearing, I'm completely lost. Wait, why did I run? Ash was the one who disappeared first. If anyone should be running, it's her. I'm just about to get a grip on myself when a warm, smooth hand locks around my wrist. My heart lurches. I step back on instinct. Ash's lips curve with a faint sardonic edge as she pins me in place with no room to move. "Why are you running from me?" Ash's eyes are locked on me, her fingertips white from gripping so hard. Her breathing is fast enough to be alarming. I look down and fall straight into those deep, dark eyes. My heart skips. I drop my gaze quickly, a voice in my head muttering, "You were the one who left first." Ash keeps her eyes fixed on me, waiting for an explanation, but watching me struggle to find words and swallow them back down. It's almost enough to make her laugh in disbelief. It's peak break time. The stairwell is packed. Ash, tall and commanding, has me cornered against the wall, every bit the bully she looks like right now. Whispers erupt around us. Why is Ash blocking a guy at the stairwell? Isn't that the new transfer student? How did he even get on her radar? Ash hears the noise. Her cold eyes lift. One word. Quiet and clean. Leave. Just one word. And her presence fills the entire space. Every bystander scatters instantly. Nobody in their right mind would risk making her unhappy. I hear that word too, and I go still. How did she become like this? The whole school is terrified of her. The girl I remember has changed. But when Ash sees the fear in my eyes, every trace of that coldness evaporates in an instant, replaced by something devastatingly gentle. "Reese, why are you hiding from me?" I keep my head down and say nothing. Then the bell explodes through the stairwell. I look away and mumble, "Class is starting." Ash lets out a laugh of pure disbelief. "With your brain, you actually need to sit through class?" My eyes go red instantly. I look up at her. "You're being mean." Ash, even knowing full well I'm putting it on, completely loses her edge. She raises both hands immediately in surrender, voice going so soft it sounds like she's handling something precious. No, that was my fault. If anyone else could see this, their eyes would fall right out of their heads. This is supposed to be the terror of Thornfield? She looks more like a golden retriever begging for forgiveness. I sniffle and say it again. Class is starting. Ash is completely done with me. She lets go with a helpless sigh and watches my retreating back as I half sprint away. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a mint candy. Her fingertip rests on the tin for 2 seconds. Whatever. At least she's back. There's plenty of time to keep an eye on her. Even lock her in place if it comes to that. She bites through the mint. Ash drifts back to the classroom door, casual as anything, and calls out, which almost never happens. The teacher at the front snaps the chalk clean in half from shock. Something is seriously wrong with Ash today. Why is she acting so strange? Ash couldn't care less about the reaction. She walks straight over and sits beside me. I am sitting perfectly upright, eyes locked onto the board, performing the role of a model student with full commitment. Ash smiles. Keep it up, by all means. Right now, if I were actually able to follow the lesson, she'd write her own name backwards. The entire class period, Ash doesn't sleep. She props her head on one hand and stares at me without a single attempt to hide it. That burning gaze feels like it could scorch right through my face. Finally, I reach my limit. I scrawl a line in my notebook and shove it toward her. "Why do you keep staring at me?" Ash reads it and doesn't answer. Instead, she pulls out her phone and holds a QR code right in my face. I pause. Her old number is long gone. I hesitate for a moment, then scan it. But the second the page loads, my pupils go sharp. The profile picture is a photo of me from behind, overalls, my 11th birthday. The username is still just one word, Ash. 10 years, and she never changed either. Something in my chest seizes up. I press down the wave of feeling rising behind my eyes and tap the add button. Accepted instantly. The bell rings. Ash gives me one long, loaded look, then heads off to lunch with Vera and Serena. The moment she's gone, every suppressed whisper in the class detonates at once. Oh my, that look she gave him, they are absolutely childhood sweethearts. It's confirmed. The noise gives me an instant headache. It isn't until the classroom mostly empties that Elliot slides over. "Reese, come eat." On the way to the cafeteria, Elliot finally can't hold it. "You and Ash? You really grew up together?" I think for a moment, then ask something that's been nagging at me. "Why is everyone so scared of Ash? Is it just the family name?" Elliot drops his voice immediately and glances around like someone might be listening. "It's not just who she is. When the school year started, Ash beat a girl from one of the top families half to death right here in the city. Blood everywhere." My steps slow. Elliot keeps going. "That was the only time anyone's ever seen Ash lose control. Not a single teacher or student dared step in. Even Vera and Serena couldn't hold her back. You know how it ended? Luna from Maplewood showed up and hit Ash. No warning, no words, just a punch. That's what stopped it." Elliot shakes his head. "That's the only time I've ever seen Ash take a hit and not hit back. Luna is something else." I stop walking. "Luna, that's my sister. Luna has never liked Ash, not since they were kids. Her hitting Ash isn't the surprising part. What's surprising is what happened to make Ash lose herself that completely, enough that she stood there and took the punch without fighting back." Questions tangle around each other in my head. I push the feeling down and follow Elliot into the cafeteria. Meanwhile, every pair of eyes in the cafeteria swings toward me like spotlights. The whole place erupts. Gossip spreads like it has wings. I poke at the green onions in my bowl, the buzzing around me more irritating than anything I can name, and all those stares that feel like they're trying to go straight through me. I decide on the spot, I am never eating in this cafeteria again. Back in the classroom, I scroll through the school forum. And there it all is. Candid photos of me everywhere. The comments are something else. "Give me everything about this guy in 10 minutes. You want to die? You're going after someone Ash has claimed?" Someone posts a tip. "Yesterday at lunch he was eating with Elliot." When people see that, everyone gets even more confused. Elliot, the 5th most powerful name in the city, the cool, untouchable Elliot Chen, the guy who barely interacts with anyone outside his childhood friend Zara, hanging out with a transfer student. Then, one comment blows the whole thread wide open. "This guy's last name is Moore. Could he actually be from the Moore family? Impossible. The Moore family's only heir is overseas." My scrolling finger stops dead. Marcus Moore, my adopted cousin who left the country at 6. Yeah, I barely know him. At that same moment, at an upscale restaurant just outside school, Ash is scrolling through her phone with no particular urgency. Then her finger stops. Her expression goes dark in an instant. Across from her, Vera swallows what's in her mouth and carefully says, "Ash, the forum is full of posts about you, me, and Reese." Ash's brow barely has time to crease before Serena, who has been typing beside her without a word, speaks up quietly. "All gone." Vera refreshes her phone. Sure enough, every single post has vanished without a trace. With that handled, Vera can't help but grumble. "We could have eaten lunch with Reese today. Why did we have to leave?" Serena doesn't even look up. She picks up a piece of fish and drops it in Vera's bowl. "Use your head. Push too hard and you'll spook him. Give him room to breathe." Ash says nothing. She just eats in silence until she sets down her chopsticks and then speaks, completely relaxed. "Not going back this afternoon. I'm heading out. I'll go back tomorrow and track him down." Back in the classroom, I've just landed on a photo of Ash staring at me like I'm the only thing in the room. And the next second, The screen flickers. The photo disappears. I refresh. Every post about them is gone. Before I can even process that, I turn my head, and the window is packed wall to wall with faces. I suddenly feel like an animal on display, pinned under dozens of staring eyes. I shoot to my feet and walk straight out. Lunch break. Gates are open. A chorus of groans trails behind me from students who didn't get their fill. I've barely stepped through the gate when my feet stop. My eyes lock onto a figure at the entrance of Maplewood High. Luna. The moment our eyes meet, every nerve in me goes taut. The guy standing beside her has his lips moving silently, and his eyes are full of pure hostility. I find it completely baffling. I glanced over for less than 4 seconds and already I'm the enemy in this guy's head. Fine. If that's how it's going to be, I don't like him either. I don't give him another second of my attention. I turn and run toward that cool, sharp figure. My voice comes out bright and sweet. Luna! At the sound of her name, Luna turns on instinct. That face, usually cold as ice, the moment she sees it's me, it melts. All that frost replaced by warmth and indulgence. She steps forward quickly. Reese, why are you out here? Done with class? I let a small smile pull at my lips. Done with class. I was about to head home and then I spotted you. Any other guardian would be furious right now. But Luna looks proud. Genuinely, unironically proud. Good. Reese made it through half a day. That's amazing. The girls standing nearby all go slack-jawed. Oh my, this is the legendary Luna? Smiling like that? That's somehow more terrifying. Just then, a girl with bleached yellow hair tosses something in the trash without looking, and leans in with pure gossip energy. Is this cute guy Luna's boyfriend? At those words, the guy who is glaring at me goes white. If it's a boyfriend, that's a completely different situation, but Luna's eyes go cold and sharp as a blade. This is my brother. Show some respect. The whole group is stunned. Her actual brother. The yellow-haired girl immediately corrects herself. Hi there, little. She doesn't finish. Luna's hand lands heavy on her shoulder. A very clear warning. My brother. Message received. The whole group relocates to a restaurant, and the moment I sit, a cup of bubble tea appears in front of me. Luna reaches over and rubs my head like the rest of the table doesn't exist. That sight burns someone across the table. The guy with the comma bang haircut, Rex, finally can't sit still. He rotates the watch on his wrist and leans forward with sounds like concern but lands like a blade. Shouldn't you be in class right now? Skipping isn't a great look, and the dyed hair doesn't exactly scream model student. His eyes flicker as he says it. As far as he knows, the more heir is overseas and barely favored anyway. This is probably just some adopted little brother, an outsider who would never dare offend someone like the girl beside him. But before I can say a word, the yellow-haired girl beside me detonates. She turns on Rex without mercy. Who are you to police his class schedule? You've been clinging to her for months, and now you want to lecture someone else about dyed hair? Are you coming at Leo, or are you coming at everyone at this table? One sentence, and Rex goes red from his neck to his ears. Flustered and furious, he turns to the girl beside him, his backup, but she is watching all of this with complete indifference, and when she catches his desperate look, the corner of her mouth lifts, but her eyes are cold as someone watching a pet misbehave. Tisk, don't embarrass yourself with tricks like that. Be good or I'm going to be very unhappy. She scoffs. Classic outside son, small moves, small mind. Pulling that kind of thing in front of Luna's brother, that's practically begging for trouble. The rest of the table had been done with Rex long before this. None of them would willingly share a table with him if it weren't for her. Beneath them, they've all shifted as far away as possible. Only she stays beside Rex, leaning lazily against him while treating him like he's barely there. Rex is panicking. He spent 2 months chasing her before she finally gave him the time of day. He is not letting a few wrong words blow that. So he plasters on an apologetic smile and slides the knife in again. Sorry about that really, but hey, class doesn't really matter that much anyway. Luna will take care of you. He puts heavy, deliberate weight on those last 3 words. Then he actually tips his chin up with satisfaction. The girls around the table press their hands to their foreheads. This guy. He really just implied that Luna's actual brother is some kind of kept pet. A flicker of cold amusement passes through my eyes. Pulling this level of trick in front of me? Fine. If you want to play, I'll play. I let my expression shift. Pouting, soft, perfectly spoiled, the image of a pampered little prince. What do you mean by that? Are you implying I'm Luna's kept boy? Rex's smile locks up. He opens his mouth to explain. I don't give him the chance. I turn and tug at Luna's sleeve. Luna, look at him. He's being mean. I'm upset. And then I toss in one petulant little huff for good measure. That tiny sound is the last straw. Luna's expression goes completely dark, and she looks up, eyes cutting straight to the girl across from her. Handle it. 2 words, each one loaded like a threat. Her patience is gone. The only reason she hasn't moved herself is out of respect for a friend. The girl finally sits up straight. She lets a slow smile pull at her mouth, but her eyes are ice. Sorry, cutie. My ex doesn't know his place. I'll get rid of him. Wait, ex? Rex drains of color and slams his hand on the table. What? Did you just... You're breaking up with me? Yesterday I was showing you off to everyone. Now I get dumped today. How is he supposed to show his face in his own circle after this? I'll transfer the breakup. Be to your account. She doesn't even bother to look at him. Voice as flat as someone tossing out trash. Idiot. You went after someone completely above your reach. That's not brave. That's stupid. I watched the whole thing unfold with a quiet smirk. Then I lean back toward Luna, keeping the spoiled act going all the way to the end. Luna, I don't like him. I don't want to sit at the same table as him. Luna doesn't look annoyed for a single second. She just ruffles my hair with a completely indulgent smile. Don't like him? Then he goes. A staff member escorts Rex out, stumbling and humiliated. The scene ends. And with that eyesore gone, the whole atmosphere lifts. The girls left at the table drop their guard and finally show their real faces. The yellow-haired girl is the first to lean over, grinning. Hey, little bro, I'm Jojo, you can call me sis. Next, a girl with unmistakable old money polish smiles warmly. I'm Alba, good to have you around. Then a softer voice. Gentle as still water. I'm Iris. Finally, the girl who just made Rex disappear leans back in her seat, back to that effortless, untouchable energy. Hey little one, I'm Ivy. Need anything, come find me. I look at the faces in front of me. The girls at the very top of City C, the Wang, the Chi, the Yu, the Lin, every one of those names, all in one place. I let the moment settle, and my gaze drifts to Ivy, the Lin family. Something flickers quietly behind my eyes. I wonder if she has any connection to the Lin family heir, but the thought is gone as fast as it comes. I pull my gaze back and flip on my most sweet and agreeable smile, voice coming out bright and soft. Hi everyone, I'm Reese, Luna's actual little brother. One sentence, and it's over. That sweet face combined with that gold-plated status as Luna's blood brother sends every one of their approval ratings through the roof. You can just tell he's the real thing. The vibe is completely different. Jojo raises an eyebrow and can't help but drop the most important question. You go to Thornfield? The moment it lands, all three others lock onto me at once, eyes full of curiosity. No wonder they've never spotted him at Maplewood. A face and a name like his at Maplewood? He'd be completely untouchable, held up by Luna, worshipped by the whole school like the most precious thing on campus. Someone like Rex wouldn't even get a look in. I smile and nod to confirm. When they hear it, every one of them makes the same face. Genuine disappointment. What a waste. A brother like that stuck at the school next door. Alba leans back against the sofa with effortless grace and can't help poking fun at Luna's total secrecy. You just got to the city recently, right? Luna kept her mouth completely shut. If I had a brother like you, I'd be showing you off every single day. I just keep smiling, eyes curving. That's right. In order to get on good terms with Luna's newest favorite, these top-tier girls pull out every trick they have, because staying in my good graces means having a get-out-of-jail-free card with Luna. As long as they don't push it too far, Luna lets them fawn over me, and there's even a flicker of amusement in her eyes while she does. By the time we're full and satisfied, it's already 2 in the afternoon. We say goodbye to the enthusiastic group, and I slide into the passenger seat beside Luna. The car is quiet and smooth. I scroll through my phone out of boredom for a while, but eventually the curiosity wins out. I turn my head and blink up at her. Luna, who was that guy earlier? I had barely finished asking when Luna answers, completely flat. The Ann family's outside son. And just like that, my curiosity dies. The Ann family is practically famous for one thing, having outside children. 5 of them, at last count. The car turns into the estate. Luna opens my door and we walk side by side toward the entrance. The housekeeper, Clara, comes to greet us right away. Young Master Miss Luna, back so early today? Clara raised all 4 of us. The Moore siblings are close. It's only with our parents that things are distant, because our parents are a love story, and we were purely accidental. How devoted are they to each other? Devoted enough that they haven't come home in 8 years. The moment Arya finished high school, our father handed her the entire company and took off to travel the world with our mother. I've only seen my parents on a screen since I was 7. I give Clara a small smile. Yeah, took the afternoon off. Clara nods and doesn't push. We finish dinner and each head to our rooms. The next day, I show up to school as usual, and to my surprise, the Dean of Discipline takes one look at my brown hair and sees right past it. He even gives me a nod. I breathe out and head into Class A, but when I glance toward my seat out of habit, something is off. Ash isn't there. Neither are Vera and Serena in the back. I don't think much of it. I sit down and start reading, completely ignoring the odd looks the class is throwing my way. Then, near the end of 4th period, all 3 of them appear together at the classroom door. Ash walks straight to her seat and drops into it, without a single word, and just stares at me, straight through the rest of the lesson and all the way until the bell rings. I'm completely irritated by the time it does, so I just ignore it. The moment the teacher leaves, I jump up and turn to Elliot in front. Elliot, come eat with me? Elliot agrees immediately. Easy and warm. Let's go. He doesn't notice Ash's face go stone cold behind him, but then Vera steps forward from the back and throws one look at Zara. Zara reads it instantly. The next second, Zara jumps in front of Elliot, eyebrows dancing. Elliot, didn't you promise you'd treat me to lunch? Elliot's face goes completely blank. He's about to say no, then he feels 3 ice-cold stares hit him at the same time. He turns slowly. Ash's expression says clearly, try it and see what happens. Vera beside her is smiling, but there's not a degree of warmth in it. And even Serena, who rarely shows anything, has nothing but warning in her eyes. The students around them scatter on instinct, clearing out of the classroom like their lives depend on it. Elliot is sweating. He doesn't dare say a word. Zara grabs his arm and drags him out before he can. Watching Elliot get hauled away against his will, I am completely speechless. But Vera acts like nothing happened. She hooks her arm through Ash's and turns to me with a blinding smile. Reese, it's been so long. Ash has missed you so much. Hearing my name said like that, I freeze up. Something stings behind my eyes, but I manage a smile anyway. Just then, even Serena, who almost never shows warmth, actually smiles. She speaks first. Reese, come eat with us. You can't keep avoiding Ash forever. At that, Ash, still cold-faced beside her, let something small and quiet flicker through her eyes. I know exactly where the cafeteria is, but somehow I nod anyway. The 4 of us walk out together and instantly become the center of the entire school. On the way, Vera keeps finding things to say, trying to smooth over the tension. Reese, you just got back to the city recently? I nod. 5 days ago. 5 days. Vera follows up fast. Where were you for first year? The moment the question lands, I catch it. Not just Vera. Serena and Ash both go still and listen. I don't lie. I answer calmly. Crestholm Academy in City A. The moment she hears it, Ash's pupils contract. So that's where. 320 to every resource the Shen family had, searching for 320 to 7 days without stopping. But every trace of me had been completely wiped, like I'd never existed. Now it makes sense. Now she finally understands why she lost control yesterday. Then Vera suddenly blurts out, Reese, why did you just disappear like that? Serena grabs her arm immediately, a clear signal to stop, but Vera shakes her off. I don't even look up. My answer comes out flat. Personal reasons. 4 words, and the air drops to freezing. We reach the cafeteria entrance at that exact moment, and it detonates. The whole cafeteria erupts. Wait, isn't that Ash and her crew? Who is the guy with them? He is absolutely stunning. I heard he's Ash's childhood sweetheart. The forum post got deleted the second they went up. Vera glances around at the whispers. Then her eyes sharpen with a plan. She grabs Serena's arm. Serena and I will get the food. You two catch up. And just like that, it's only me and Ash. The silence is suffocating. Ash finds a seat. I hesitate for 1 second, and then sit beside her. The next second, Ash's voice comes out cold and quiet. Why did you come back? If you wanted to disappear from me, why come back at all? The words hit like something sharp. My chest tightens, but I keep my eyes away from hers. Nothing. Something came up and I had to come back. My voice is eerily calm. A flicker of pain crosses Ash's eyes, and then it's gone. She draws a slow breath. Her voice comes out rough. Either way, welcome back. Then we both fall into complete silence. Just then, Vera and Serena come back with the food and break the strangling quiet. The 4 of us eat in near total silence. Vera tries to speak several times, but Serena shuts her down every time with a look. It isn't until we walk out that Vera finally lets it out. Reese, I'm just glad you're back. We're still the same as before. Something warm moves through my chest. I let a small smile show. Thanks, Vera. Serena nods too and gives my shoulder a quiet pat. Come to us if you need anything. I smile softly. I know. Serena. Vera. Serena. I say their names with such easy warmth and deliberately don't look at Ash even once. Something sinks in Ash's chest. She doesn't even get a name from me. Serena picks up on it immediately. She suggests taking me on a tour of the campus to break the suffocating atmosphere. I don't say no, but somehow as we walk, we end up in front of the library. Should we go in? Serena suggests. Sure, I say easily. But the second we step inside, Serena immediately regrets it. The silence in here is so complete you could hear a pin drop. How is this supposed to help the atmosphere? This is worse. The 4 of us find seats. I pick up a book and start reading, treating everyone beside me like they don't exist. The other 3, seeing this, reluctantly do the same. But I've barely read a few pages when I look up and Ash is gone. I close the book and go after her. Vera moves to follow, but Serena grabs her back. Don't. Serena keeps her voice low. Give them time alone. Let Ash explain herself. Vera settles back down. Meanwhile, I find Ash on the narrow path beside the library, but what I see stops me cold. She has her back to me, fingertips pressing against a creased piece of paper. The weight around her is heavy and still. Nothing like the girl who used to ruffle my hair and laugh. There's a coldness to her now. A loneliness. I walk toward her slowly. My footsteps are sharp in the quiet. Ash spins around, and when she sees it's me, she pauses for just a second. She drops the paper. Her voice comes out rough. Why are you out here? I stop in front of her and look down at her. I came to find you. What are you doing out here? Her eyes shift away. She mumbles something vague. Nothing. Just needed air. One look at her, and I understand. I'm quiet for a long moment. Then I step forward and gently brush a fallen leaf from her shoulder. We both go still at the same time. And in that moment, I finally find the nerve to ask the question that has been buried deepest inside me. Why weren't you at the entrance exams? Where did you go? Ash holds my gaze for a few seconds. When she speaks, her voice is barely above a whisper. 10 days before the exams, my cousin in name only, Shen Ruyan, joined forces with the An family's outside son, An Xin, and sent a group of people to beat me. My heart rate spikes the moment I hear it. I look at her, full of worry. Are you okay? The second I say it, I want to take it back. She's standing right in front of me. Of course she's okay. Ash shakes her head. Her voice softens. My dad eventually found me. After that, they didn't dare push further. She pauses, then continues. I just had a head injury. Spent over 10 days in the hospital. That's why I missed the exams, and when I got out, you were already gone. There's still one thing lodged in my chest. I ask it quietly. The image that's hurt the most. Then why did I see you kiss Anshin the day you were absent? Ash's brow creases. So I saw that. She explains quickly. That day, Anshin came with over 40 people to surround me. She got close to threaten me, warning me not to do anything. It was never a kiss. Right after that, they took me away, and the beating started. The moment I hear it, every last trace of doubt dissolves. But what rushes in to replace it is guilt, crushing and overwhelming. I think about how childishly I threw a tantrum, changed every way she could reach me. It's almost laughable. My eyes go red in an instant. The next second I throw myself into Ash's arms, my voice breaks. I'm sorry. Ash, when you needed me the most, I wasn't there. Ash feels me trembling in her arms, and something in her nearly breaks. She wraps her arms around me gently. Her voice comes out impossibly soft. You're back. That's all that matters. It's on me. I never got to explain. It takes a long moment before I finally lift my head. There's a lightness on my face now. Ash, let's call them out. We should head back to class. Ash looks at me, back to myself, and something warm floods through her. She reaches out and ruffles my hair with undisguised affection. Okay? When Ash walks back out smiling, Vera and Serena read the room instantly. Vera raises her eyebrows. All sorted? Ash's smile goes wide. Obviously, and so the four of us walk back to class side by side, as if nothing happened at all. But the moment we step through the door, Zara's voice comes at us. Back already? Vera answers without missing a beat. Obviously, the class is almost full by now, but Ash's eyes are fixed entirely on me. That look so soft it could pull someone under. I'm looking down at my phone replying to a message when that completely undisguised stare practically burns through me. I give up and put the phone away. What? Ash answers with 2 words. Nothing, but the energy between us is so visibly sweet it's practically spilling out of the room. The class stares. Is this really the ice-cold girl they've heard so much about? Whispers ignite. The transfer student is Ash's boyfriend, right? Oh my, nobody expected the cold queen to have a side this soft. And he grew up with Vera and Serena too. You really don't want to be on his bad side. But just before afternoon class starts, that sweet atmosphere is shattered by a single phone call. It's from my old friend in City A, Lucas. Ever since I left, Lucas had completely gone silent. Every message I sent disappeared without a reply. I step outside immediately to take it. On the other end, Lucas forces a casual tone. I just happened to think about you. Haven't heard your voice in a while. I catch the pride hiding behind those words and smile. Funny, I was just thinking about you too. Lucas immediately fires up. Liar. If you were thinking about me, why didn't you call? I talk him down. Once he calms, he finally gets to the point. And his first sentence is a bomb. Reese, I got locked in a room by Dustin for a few days. Just got out today and got my phone back. Then his next line tightened, something in my chest. I heard from Xiaoyu that Blake actually hurt you. I keep my voice light. I'm fine, just transferred. I'm in the city now. Lucas lets out a dramatic groan. Reese, without you around, I'm going to die of boredom. I laugh. You've got Aiden. But Lucas sighs. Aiden's got exams. They took his phone again. Just then, Lucas gets a spark of an idea and a plan clicks into place. Wait, Dustin filed a sick leave for me, right? My mom just got back to the country today. I'm coming to find you for a few days. He's going to vanish completely, and when his mom finds him gone, Dustin will have no way to explain it. He wants to make sure that perfect stepfather act falls apart for good. I think for a second and say, come on then, I'll send you my location. Lucas's voice goes electric with excitement. Reese, this isn't even far, give me an hour. But the next second his tone shifts completely. Wait, you're in the city? City C. That city? The one where all the top families live? City C is the capital city of the country, and this district is its core, home to the 8 elite families and 4 major conglomerates. Any single family here outranks the most powerful names anywhere else. The wealthiest family in the country, the Shen family, is rooted right here. Lucas suddenly spots something and his pupils blow wide. The Moore family, ranked second in the entire country by wealth and power, just behind the Shen family. Lucas had always known I wasn't ordinary. That kind of confidence, the kind built into the bone, you can't fake it. Back at Crestholm, when people came at me deliberately, I shut them down with a single look. That was the moment Lucas decided we were the same kind of person. So he had backed me without hesitation. I speak into the phone, easy and calm. Lucas, I'm at school. Just follow the location. Lucas's mood lifts immediately. He asks right away, is it easy to sneak into your school? Thinking of how easily Rosie walked in, I actually say, pretty easy. Lucas immediately understands. Back at Crestholm, they used to sneak out all the time. He makes the call instantly. Perfect. I'll take a cab and climb the wall to find you. Meanwhile, back in the classroom, I've barely hung up when Ash, propping her chin on her hand, asks without warning, who is that? A friend from City A says he's sneaking in to find me. Ash's eyes narrow. Guy or girl? Guy. The moment she hears that, Ash pulls her attention back and doesn't ask anything else. Then the bell rings, and the homeroom teacher walks up with a stack of papers. This class and the next 2. Exams. The entire room goes dead silent at once. Everyone puts their heads down and writes. An hour and a half later, Lucas finally arrives. He's in a well-cut black casual outfit, carrying himself like he was born to it. But when he looks up at the school in front of him, he draws a sharp breath. This place is several times larger than Crestholm. The name above the gates gleams. Thornfield High. Isn't this the most famous elite school in the entire city? But that's not even the point. Lucas sizes up the towering wall from a distance and completely blanks. This wall is several meters taller than Crestholm's. He stands there, frozen. This is what you called easy to get into? The gate staff are already staring at him. He casually moves to the side and pulls out his phone. Inside the school, the 4 of us have already turned in our exams early and are sitting outside the school store, talking. Just then, my phone rings. I glance down. It's Lucas. Without thinking, I answer right in front of all 3 of them. The next second, Lucas roars through the speaker. Hey, I'm at the gate and I cannot get in. Come get me now. That loud, aggressive voice carries perfectly. All 3 hear it. I just smile. Give me a minute. I'm on my way. I've barely hung up before I can say a word. Ash is already standing. I'll come with you. 10 minutes later at the school gate, Lucas spots me and the grievance hits him all at once. You finally showed up. 5 more minutes and I'd have been roasted alive. But the next second, his eyes land on the girl standing beside me and lock up completely. Beautiful. This is on another level compared to anyone at Crestholm. But that's not even the point. The point is, why does this face look exactly like the one from the painting he's seen before? No, the girl in the painting had black hair, the one in front of him has dark red hair, but the way she looks at me, that's identical to the painting. That drowning softness. Lucas elbows me hard. I get it immediately and introduce them with a smile. This is Ash, my childhood sweetheart. Childhood sweetheart. Lucas's mouth curves wide. He feels like he's just uncovered something massive. That secret is buried in my sketchbook. A girl in a painting, signed only with one word. Ash Lucas always assumed she was imaginary. Someone this beautiful couldn't possibly be real. But what did he just hear? Ash Shen. Wait, Ash Shen, daughter of the wealthiest family in the country, the sole heir of the Shen family, the one you can't find a single photo of online, the mysterious figure nobody can track down. Lucas draws a slow breath. There is no second Ash Shen at Thornfield, which means Reese, the young heir of the Moore family himself, blood brother to the head of the Moore group. Before Lucas can fully process it, I speak warmly. Ash, this is Lucas, my friend from City A. Ash gives him a brief, cool look and offers 2 words. Hi, then looks away. The next second, Lucas leans in close and pitches his voice at exactly the right volume. Loud enough. No wonder you never looked twice at anyone at Crestholm. Growing up with someone like her, your heart was already taken. My face goes red instantly. I shove him sideways. What are you even saying? But right beside me, Ash's mouth curves into a wide smile, and the look she turns on Lucas is suddenly several degrees warmer. With Ash's status as the school board director's daughter, all 3 of us walk in without a problem. I lead Lucas toward the school store, where Vera and Serena are still waiting. All 3 heiresses in the same place, already rare. And now there's not just Class A standout, but a new incredibly good-looking guy added to the mix. The school forum crashes. Students flood toward the store from every direction just to look. Who are the 2 guys with her? Haven't you seen the forum? Ash just hit a whole new level, and those guys are both incredible. Just then, I speak up. Vera. Serena. Vera reacts first, enthusiastic and warm. You must be Reese's friend from City A. I'm Vera. Serena beside her simply looks up quietly. Hi, I'm Serena. At that, Lucas feels something massive click into place. 2 of the city's top heiresses, and with everything he now knows about my family, there is no more doubt about who I am. The crowd around them keeps growing. Vera jingles a key in her hand. Let's go, 4th floor. The next second, the 5 of them head straight up to the private lounge on the 4th floor. Vera looks at me curiously. Reese, how do you 2 know each other? I let a faint smile pull at my mouth. Back at Crestholm, I was getting targeted by some students. Before I can finish, Lucas cuts in. That's not what happened. You were the one who wanted to be my friend. Vera looks at the pure honesty in his eyes and can't help laughing. But just then, Ash, who has been quiet the whole time, suddenly looks up. The moment Ash hears that I was targeted, something ignites behind her eyes. Ice cracks through her gaze. Faced with that sudden drop in temperature, Vera actually dares to tease Ash and Serena for being too quiet, but Ash doesn't even lift her eyes. Just one cold sweep. But when I ask her something, her mouth curves and she answers warmly. Even so, the tension doesn't lift. Everyone's attention shifts to Serena, who's across from them, head down over her phone. Her brow is tight. Her whole face says she's exhausted. When asked, it turns out it's because of the unstable 4th son of the Lang family again. The Lang family's matriarch once saved Serena's mother's life, and the family has been using that debt to force an engagement ever since, leaving Serena hounded by a man named Lang Feng to the point where she can barely come to school. Then Ash lets out a sharp, dismissive laugh and drops something devastating. That life-saving incident. The Lang family staged the whole thing. Before the words even settle, the lounge door slams open. Lang Feng walks in, demanding immediately to know why Serena hasn't replied to his messages. He flinches slightly when he sees Ash, but hiding behind his identity as the son of a supposed savior, he doesn't back down. Then he spots the other guys in the room. Lang Feng ignites. Jealousy floods through him. He jabs a finger at me and Lucas. I'm her fiancé. Why are you spending time with other guys? Faced with that rabid aggression, the light in Serena's eyes goes completely out. At that critical moment, I, the one who has been quiet and agreeable this whole time, suddenly stand up. I walk toward Lang Feng. Those pale eyes that usually carry no edge are now cold enough to cut. The air around me shifts in an instant, from the boy next door to something entirely different. A fiancé title claimed by force. Does that really count as righteous? Lang Feng is rattled by that presence and steps back without meaning to. He never expected it. The guy who looked most harmless in the room has something cold and untouchable running all the way through him. I tilt my chin up slightly, eyes full of contempt. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I don't need to teach you that, do I? At that moment, Lucas smiles. Serena stares. So the quiet agreeableness was never the real thing. The person standing here right now, someone who can hold an entire room with a single look, this is the real Reese, the one who used to stay behind others, letting Ash handle everything. 1 year in City A, and something has changed. Under Ash's gaze, she has no intention of stepping in. Serena walks to stand beside me. She looks at Lang Feng and issues the order directly. I've told you before, I don't like you. I'll handle the engagement myself. Please don't come near me again. Lang Feng cracks. Tears rage behind his eyes, but he still grips that worthless piece of paper. So what? Feelings can grow after marriage. That logic makes Vera physically recoil. She puts an arm around Serena, face dripping with contempt. Are you serious? Serena is in her first year of high school. You want her to grow feelings after marriage? Look in a mirror first. Do you really think you deserve her? That hits exactly where it hurts. Lang Feng, furious and cornered, swings his attack toward the one who looks most harmless. Me. He even has the nerve to make a sweeping accusation. My engagement with Serena is known throughout this entire city. Whoever you are, don't do anything inappropriate. The words barely land before the air freezes solid. What did you just say? The one who had been completely relaxed, Ash, is on her feet in an instant, standing at my side. Those deep eyes go dark instantly. A wave of raw, violent energy radiates off her, like she could do something irreversible in the next second. Lang Feng, who had been so arrogant just moments ago, stumbles back several steps. His voice is shaking. Ash looks at him. One word. Leave. Lang Feng presses against the wall, trembling so hard he can't string a sentence together. Just when he thinks the worst is over, Lucas, who has been watching the whole thing with amusement, slowly stands up. He walks over without a word and raises his right hand. The slap lands clean and loud across Lang Feng's face, ringing through the entire lounge. That single hit knocks the pampered heir completely sideways. He grabs his face in disbelief and shrieks. Who do you think you are? You just hit me? Lucas tilts his chin up and shakes out the sting in his wrist, eyes full of contempt. And who exactly are you? Lucas then picks up a tissue and wipes his hand with visible disgust. Vera looks genuinely disappointed. Such a shame nobody recorded that. It would have broken the forum. Alright, be grateful for what you got. Serena pats Vera's arm with a helpless sigh. Ash turns around. The ferocity in her eyes melts the instant she looks at me, replaced by something unbearably warm. She reaches over and gently pinches my cheek. Next time something like that happens, don't bother with words, just go. And if you can't win, I'm right here. While everyone's still teasing each other, Vera suddenly sighs. If it weren't for Lang Bing, the Lang family would have been finished a long time ago. Lang Bing. The moment I hear that name, my body goes rigid, even with Ash right beside me trying to coax me back. Who would have thought that this rabid, out-of-control Lang Feng has an angelic younger brother? Lang Bing. The only normal person in the entire Lang family. The one they all treasure the most. He's gentle and obedient as a puppy, so sweet it's almost naive. And he was my closest friend in middle school. But in our second year, his health got so bad they sent him overseas. After that, nothing. Hearing that name now, Serena looks at me with something complicated in her eyes. He's coming back for his second year of high school. Oh, I nod slowly. His face surfaces in my mind. Quiet, gentle. Then Vera says something that tears away the Lang family's last disguise. If you ask me, if the Lang family is so desperate to tie themselves to Serena's family, why not arrange the engagement with Lang Bing? Why saddle her with Lang Feng? Serena goes still for a moment. Something flickers through her eyes. Too brief to read. Enough. Don't bring up someone that disgusting. Vera waves it off, breaking the mood. Let's go eat. Show Lucas around the city. The group heads out through the school gates and straight to a restaurant. The server spots Ash the moment she walks through the door. Her eyes go wide and she bows so deep she's nearly folding in half. Miss Ash. Internally, she's stunned. Ash usually only comes in with Serena and Vera. Today there are two guys with her too, but she doesn't dare ask. Ash gives a soft sound of acknowledgement, then turns to look at me, and that wall of cold hostility dissolves in an instant. Her voice goes impossibly soft. Reese, see what you want to eat. I take the menu. I've barely finished ordering when my phone buzzes. It's Luna, checking in. Where are you? I'm at the Thornfield Gate. I type back sweetly. Out eating with Ash and the others. On her end, Luna pauses. Didn't you two fall out almost a year ago? Are you good now? Yeah. Luna reads it and doesn't push further. She just sends one line back, asking the housekeeper to get a room ready for Lucas. The next second my phone buzzes again, a bank notification. $2 million deposited from an account ending in 9527. I smile and send back a cute little sticker. Luna is the best. Luna replies calmly, telling me to be careful out there. I put my phone away. The food arrives right on time, a full table, and not a single dish with green onion, ginger, or garlic. Nothing that needs to be peeled or shelled either. This is Ash's kind of attention. She even reaches over and places a piece in my bowl without a word, the motion so practiced it looks like muscle memory, and I accept it without thinking. Vera and Serena don't even blink, but Lucas, watching from the side, feels something bitter and sour rise in his chest. Why does his own childhood sweetheart only ever insult him? Meanwhile, Ash is practically raising hers. They eat well until 6:30. They've barely stepped outside when Vera's phone rings. The smile drops from her face instantly, replaced by irritation. Something came up at home, I have to go. Serena's brow creases. Yu Cheng again? Few people can pull that expression from Vera. Yu Cheng, the illegitimate daughter 1 year younger than Vera, someone who has no business reaching for the Yu family name, yet constantly tries to contest Vera for everything. Now that their father is back in the country, it's obvious what's happening. Yu Cheng is running to him with complaints again. Vera lets out a sharp laugh, her voice openly contemptuous. Yeah, going to take out the trash. Serena doesn't hesitate for a second. She steps to Vera's side immediately. Then let's go, we'll head out first. See everyone tomorrow. Vera raises an eyebrow, links arms with Serena, and they leave. Ash and I exchange a simple goodbye and go our separate ways. Ash heads home. I take Lucas and get into a car that would blind anyone who looked at it directly. Under the night sky, a silver-blue sports car streaks down the wide estate road like a flash of light, scattering brilliance under every street lamp. The hedges on either side are trimmed with precision, dotted with flowers in full bloom. In the distance, elegant structures rise one by one, until the enormous estate appears. Lucas is a wealthy heir from City A. He's seen things. But when he sees this place, bathed in warm golden light like something out of a fairy tale, he completely short-circuits. Reese, this is your house? His voice comes out slightly unsteady through the window. You live in a castle? Are you some kind of escaped Disney prince? I keep my expression completely calm and give a quiet hum of confirmation. That's it. Every last guess Lucas had just got confirmed. The driver up front looks like a mob enforcer, someone who runs in dangerous circles, and yet calls me young master with complete deference. The car is encrusted with diamonds. He lives in Westview Estate, a place that belongs only to the city's absolute elite. Childhood sweetheart of the Shen family's heir, and the last name is Moore. Outside of that one legendary family from this city, who else could he be? So is anyone home? Lucas tenses up immediately. I smile and shake my head. Relax, Lucas. Mom and Dad are traveling. My sisters are all out tonight. You're staying with me, no worries. The car glides to a smooth stop in front of the entrance. The same fierce-looking driver steps out and opens the car door with movements that are suddenly careful and gentle. His voice is nothing but respectful. Young master, please. I step out without missing a beat. Lucas follows. The two of us walk toward the grand gilded entrance. The doors open slowly and what's inside resets everything Lucas thought he knew. Dozens of enormous crystal chandeliers hang from the vaulted ceiling, flooding the entire hall with light as bright as noon. Antique vases line every surface without a speck of dust. Several maids move quietly through the space. The moment they see me, they stop and greet me with warm, practiced smiles. A butler in a tailored suit steps forward, bowing slightly. Welcome home, young master. Then his eyes move to Lucas. And this is? This is my friend. His last name is Liu. Ah, young Master Liu, welcome. The butler inclines his head with polished courtesy. Then the housekeeper comes over as well, smiling warmly. Young master, Miss Aria and Miss Luna are both out this evening. I'm not surprised. That's fine, thank you. The butler bows again. Young masters, please rest. Dinner will be ready shortly. He withdraws quietly. I pull Lucas onto the sofa and grab some fruit from the table. With no one else around, Lucas's gossip instincts ignite completely. Okay, Spill, are you and Ash engaged or not? What are you talking about? I pause mid-reach, voice jumping up. We're still young, it hasn't gotten that far. The elders did arrange something when we were small, but I say quietly, we're just from the same social circle. Childhood sweethearts, that's all. The maids nearby hear this, and all quietly look down, mouths curving wildly upward. They had watched things fall apart between the two, him transferring away, even Luna barely coming home. But hearing this now, it's obvious they've made up, which means their favorite pairing is back to serving sweetness. I was just asking, Lucas says, suppressing a grin. No need to panic, big shot. He drops the teasing and shifts gears, voice full of genuine envy. Reese, you're the only heir in the Moore family, and you've got two sisters spoiling you rotten. That's the dream. I hold up one finger and shake it slowly. Not two. 3. What? Lucas goes completely blank. 3? The Moore family only has Arya and Luna, right? There's one more. I smile with deliberate mystery. I have one twin sister. Lucas's head starts buzzing. That's why Luna is always called the second daughter, never the third. So there's a twin below her. Do you two look exactly alike? Lucas nearly jumps off the sofa. Pretty close? I nod. I'm so jealous. I want 3 sisters. Lucas makes a sound that could only be described as a shriek. We keep chatting about this and that. Then Lucas sighs suddenly. Reese, without you at Crestholm, my whole high school experience is going to be so boring. I don't respond to that directly. I just say quietly, you still have Phoenix and Xiao Yu. At the mention of Xiao Yu, Lucas perks up. Oh right. A few days ago, the Fu family got removed from the 4 elite families. The whole ranking just reshuffled. I smile at that. Xiao Yu, always too gentle, too easy to push around. But now that the Li family has taken the spot, and he's the only heir of that generation, he'll finally have some ground to stand on. We talk for a good while longer. Lucas checks the time, and something sharp flickers through his eyes. My mom should be back in the country by now, probably turning the world upside down looking for me. He laughs coldly, shaking his powered-off phone. I want her to see exactly what her wonderful husband has been doing behind her back. Curled up in the room, the conversation drifts naturally to the people in their circles. Your childhood sweetheart transferred from her school to Crestholm, probably turning the world upside down looking for you too. I drop it casually. The moment Lucas hears the name, his cheeks puff out like a blowfish. Don't bring her up. The two families go way back, and those two grew up practically attached at the hip. But unlike me and Ash, nothing sweet about it. They're a disaster. Breaking vases as kids and blaming each other, deliberately stepping on each other's shadows while walking, helping you stay cute and short, that's how they put it. When someone sends a love letter, the first instinct isn't to help, it's to grab it and read it out loud, watching the other person die of embarrassment. Before exams, they mess with each other. I didn't study at all. Then one comes first, the other second. An absolute pair of disasters. All right, I won't bring her up. I smile. How long are you staying? 2 days. We finish talking, the butler calls us for dinner, and afterward we head to our rooms to rest. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, a whole other drama is about to begin. There's an open secret at this elite academy. If you ever see someone wearing a necklace engraved with the letter W, don't you dare mess with them. I happen to be wearing exactly that necklace. But right now, Vera has just walked through the Yu family gates with Serena. The family butler smiles warmly at these two sharp, confident girls and greets them respectfully. But the real drama is unfolding in the living room. The Yu family head, Marcus Yu, is already waiting at the door, expression dark, but the moment his sharp eyes land on Vera, every shadow lifts from his face. Pure warmth takes its place. There she is. Serena's here too. Have you eaten? Both Vera and Serena confirm that they have. Marcus nods with satisfaction and gets straight to it. Turns out Yu Cheng did get hurt, and is currently lying in her room groaning. Vera's stepmother is out of her mind, demanding answers. Vera just raises one lazy eyebrow and answers with complete innocence. Dad, I've been glued to Serena all day. When would I have had time to arrange something like that? Serena immediately nods in confirmation. With the GU family's eldest daughter vouching for her, and Marcus's own favoritism already firmly in place, Marcus waves a hand and closes the case on the spot. Good. Dad believes you. Just then, urgent footsteps pound down the staircase. A woman in expensive clothes, but with exhausted, hollow eyes, rushes down. Her eyes are red and swollen. She fixes her glare on Vera. I know you can't stand Yu Cheng, but next time can you at least not go for her life? If anything happens to her, I don't want to live either. But Marcus doesn't offer a single word of comfort. Instead, his brow snaps down, and he cuts her off with a sharp bark. Didn't you hear Vera say it wasn't her? Go ask that troublemaker of yours who she managed to offend. First day back in the country and she's already causing problems. Unbelievable. In his eyes, Yu Cheng, who got into an accident the day she arrived, is nothing but a problem magnet, and Vera, quietly attending class, is his treasure. The stepmother goes pale under the verbal lashing. Her knuckles go white. She doesn't dare go at her husband, so she pivots to Serena and forces a thin smile. Serena, this is a family matter. You should probably head home. Before Serena can even open her mouth, Vera steps forward and puts herself between them. Her voice cuts like a blade. Is your memory failing you? Serena grew up in this house. She has never been an outsider here. Then Vera's hand lands hard across her face. The slap knocks every trace of that forced smile away. The hatred behind her eyes can no longer be contained. She screams. Then you owe Yu Cheng an explanation. An explanation? Vera reacts like she's just heard the funniest thing imaginable. She tips her chin up, arrogance off the charts. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Since you're so convinced it was me who did it, why don't I just go ahead and actually have someone finish the job and send a coffin as my explanation? The moment those words land, every servant in the room starts trembling, every head wishing it could sink straight into the floor. The stepmother shakes with fury and turns to her husband. Honey, how can you let her talk like that? But Marcus just waves a hand, completely unbothered. All right, Vera said she didn't do it. That just now was a joke. You pushed her into it, though I have no idea where she gets that sense of humor from. Vera takes the opening and runs with it, curling a wicked smile. Right, it was just a joke, Auntie. Can't you take one? The stepmother nearly chokes on her own fury and resorts to glaring at both of them through gritted teeth. Marcus, sensing the room has gone too far, offers a toothless dial it back and then waves everyone off, exhausted. All right, Vera, Serena, it's getting late. Head upstairs and rest. Serena, stay the night. They say their goodnights and turn toward the stairs, but at the base of the staircase, Vera's steps slow. She turns back lazily and looks down at the fuming woman below, eyes glinting with something that makes the blood run cold. You should keep a better eye on your precious daughter. Wouldn't want her to actually get hit next time. Before the echo fades, Vera sighs with exaggerated regret, voice drenched in contempt. If I were the one who arranged it, I would have made sure there wasn't enough left to bury. Such a shame whoever did it went soft. Boom. Those words hit like lightning. The stepmother completely breaks down, screaming at Vera's retreating figure. Vera, you get back down here. Someone drag her down here. She orders the servants beside her. Faced with a hysterical command, the servants simply lower their heads calmly. Ma'am, the young miss is resting. I'm afraid that wouldn't be appropriate. The stepmother's face goes iron gray. She glares at the servant with venom, but has absolutely no moves left. And to top it all off, Marcus himself drives in the final knife. Come on, we already established it was a joke. Why are you reacting like this? Now you want to drag her out? Vera was always such a timid child. What if you frighten her? The stepmother shakes from head to toe, jabbing a finger at her husband's face. You are so biased. If Yu Cheng said something like that, you would have already done something. Did you forget your promise to treat her like your own? Enough! Marcus finally erupts, disappointment written all over his face. I'm biased? Vera was out having a perfectly fine day. You called her home, and before she's even had a glass of water, she's being blamed for everything. And you, did you even investigate before pointing the finger? He rubs his brow, exhausted, and lays it all out. If I don't stand by Vera, who does? Yu Cheng is your blood, but in what way does she compare to Vera? The Yu family belongs to Vera. Is it wrong for me to favor her? Every word lands like a slap across the stepmother's face. Then Marcus delivers the final verdict. Sleep in the guest room for the next few days. Don't come to my room. He walks upstairs without looking back. Vera immediately throws an arm around Serena with maximum provocation in her eyes. Serena, look, some people are getting banished to the guest room, and she had the nerve to call you an outsider. Serena tilts her head with a soft smile. Exactly. The two of them play off each other perfectly. The servants nearby are biting so hard on their laughter their faces have gone red. The stepmother is left standing alone, nails nearly drawing blood from her own palms. Furious and completely powerless. Back in the room, Vera throws herself onto the bed and kicks the blanket with frustration. No matter how many times she wins, being falsely accused never stops being revolting. Then the door opens. Serena walks in wearing dark pajamas and sits on the edge of the bed. Her voice is soft as water. Knew you'd be up. Came to check on you. Vera rolls over immediately, blinking with wide, innocent eyes. Serena? Do you think I went too far? Serena laughs and smooths down Vera's ruffled edges. You just told the truth. What goes around comes around. That's not on you. Once she's coaxed Vera to sleep and gently closes the door behind her, the warmth in Serena's eyes disappears in an instant. What replaces it is cold cold and calculating. Since the stepmother is so determined to pin it on Vera, once that outside daughter heals up, Serena doesn't mind making sure the blame actually fits. The next day, Thornfield High. I walk into class right as the morning reading bell rings. The seat beside me is empty. Class A's voices rise and fall in waves around me. I prop my book up to block my face and quietly slide out my phone. I open the chat labeled Ash and type fast. Ash, when are you coming? 2 full minutes pass before the reply comes back. Reese, something came up at home. Should be there around noon. The Shen family drama again. I don't even need to think about it. As one of the country's top dynasties, the power struggles within that family make any TV drama look mild. As the only child of the family head, Ash has long been a living target for every distant relative hungry for the inheritance. The things they pull behind closed doors are genuinely disgusting. I send back a heart sticker, a flicker of worry crossing my face. Then my phone screen explodes with an incoming video call. The contact label is just 2 characters. Twin sis. My eyes light up like stars. I don't say a word to anyone. I slip out the back door like an arrow leaving a bow. Class A goes completely silent. The class monitor rubs their eyes and pretends not to have seen anything. The students in the back rows nearly drop their jaws. A top student just skipped class. Vera, who had just been about to say something, freezes mid-motion. Serena beside her looks completely lost. That's the privilege of being the best. I find a quiet stairwell with no one around and finally press accept. The screen lights up. A face so beautiful it's almost unsettling fills the frame. Dark red shirt, skin pale as paper, a teardrop mole at the corner of her right eye that makes it impossible to look away. And those eyes? Ice blue, almost colorless, like they've been holding a glacier for 10,000 years. But the moment they see me, they melt completely. This is my twin sister, a 15-year-old genius, running a multinational company from overseas. Reese's. Her voice is warm as polished jade. The affection travels straight through the screen. I immediately become the clingiest version of myself. I find a bench and sit down to pout at her. I miss you so much. Even though we're twins, our lives took completely different paths. She was identified at 3 years old as a once-in-a-century prodigy and sent to a country overseas to inherit the family enterprise. Now, at just 15, she's already on a combined master's and doctoral track. I miss you too. She glances at the clock. It's midnight where she is. But she's not even slightly tired, just for a glimpse of her brother across the ocean. I catch her up happily, even bringing up Ash with excitement. At that name, something passes through her eyes, too brief to catch. She's never met Ash, but she remembers exactly who she is. This is the person who made her precious brother cry an entire night. Even as I tell her everything is fixed, in her heart, Ash is already on her list, but her expression stays gentle. As long as you're happy, Reese. When are you coming back? I miss you so much. I look at her with pure anticipation. She sees the brightness in my eyes and finally drops the bomb. Once this stretch settles down, I'll come back for 2nd year. Yes, I nearly launch off the bench, just a few months away. After we hang up, the morning reading bell rings right on cue. I'm still sitting on a bench in the 1st year section, completely unaware that I've become the center of everything. Whispers surge around me like a tide. Who is this guy? 1st year and he's walking around with dyed hair. Who does he think he is? I tune all of it out until a shadow falls over me. I look up on instinct, pupils contracting slightly. The person is dressed in all black, the classic wolf-tail hairstyle, tall and lean, features impossibly refined, but with an edge that hits you first. Especially those peach blossom eyes tilted at the corners, playful and a little dangerous. The person's mouth curves, voice crisp as water over stone but laced with a roguish charm. Hey! Why is this little one sitting all alone? Dead silence falls over the whole area. The next second, screams nearly take the roof off. Oh my, stunning. Who is that? I'm switching loyalties. Why are they going for the transfer student? That's not fair. I look at those familiar peach blossom eyes and let out a laugh, standing up. Flynn raises an eyebrow, throws an arm around my shoulder, deliberately drops his voice into a languid imitation. Reese, 1 day apart and it feels like forever. I smile and grab his hand in return. Let's go. This isn't the place to talk. 2 steps out, I suddenly turn back and flash a smile at the crowd of stunned onlookers. Those peach blossom eyes sparking like live wire, dropping half the crowd on the spot. We ignore the chaos behind us and stroll toward the school gate. The guard takes one look at me and waves us through without a word. Outside, Flynn drops back into his real voice. You're skipping? I shrug, completely unbothered. Not going back. It makes no difference either way. Flynn laughs. Fair enough. Lucas mentioned you skipped every day back in City A and still topped the grade. A few steps later, Flynn suddenly stops. Ugh, it's too hot. He reaches up and rips off the black wig. Reese, it's such a shame you're not at Maplewood. Flynn runs a hand through his actual hair, sighing. I smile faintly. Honestly, if I'd known Ash was at Thornfield, I would have picked Maplewood without thinking. At the mention of Ash, Flynn can't help pulling a face. I saw the forum. You two made up? Back then, Flynn, Ash, and I all grew up together. Flynn just wanted to stick to me. But Ash was like a territorial wolf cub. Every time she looked at him, her eyes were full of hostility. Things only balanced out once Vera and Serena entered the picture. Yeah, we made up. I nod. Flynn rolls his eyes internally. When you were gone, Ash went completely off the rails trying to find you. I didn't give her a single word. He's never liked the way Ash carries herself. Always thought she was too possessive. But he can't deny that when it comes to me, she's never given him a reason to complain. Fine, as long as you're happy. Flynn snaps his fingers. Since you're not going back to class, let me take you to Maplewood. Sure. We turn and walk straight into Maplewood next door. The gate staff there know Flynn like family. They sign us in and wave us through. The moment we step onto the grounds, the entire vibe shifts. Compared to Thornfield's strict atmosphere, Maplewood is a free-for-all. Every direction you look, a different color of hair. These wealthy kids, partly just to spite Thornfield, go as wild as they want. As long as the grades stay up, teachers look the other way. Just then, a scream splits the air. Flynn! A guy comes charging across the field with two people behind him, the commotion pulling every eye on the field. One look at who's arrived and the whole area erupts. Before anyone even speaks, Flynn is already smiling, turning to the incoming group with easy confidence. He introduces me like he owns the place. This is my good friend, Reese. The moment it lands, three girls with completely different energies push forward. My eyes land on one of them and pause slightly. Before I can say anything, she squints first. Have we met somewhere? That snaps me back. 2 days ago, Rosie took me to the mall. We ran into the Ann family's outside son and watched his girlfriend break up with him on the spot. The girl he'd been calling Babe. That's her. The realization hits her. She points at me. You were the guy with Rosie that day. One of the guys with her. His eyes light up like a bulb switched on. What's your deal with Rosie? I drop it calmly. She's my cousin. A full second of silence. The Song family doesn't have anyone with that last name. Just then, Flynn's mouth curves. He just drops the answer flat out. Allow me to formally introduce the legendary Moore family heir, also the Song family's cousin. No way. The top-tier heir everyone's heard of but no one's actually seen. He's real. Before anyone can even process that bombshell, the next second, Rosie has already brought me to their classroom. The moment I step through the door, the whole class detonates. Dozens of pairs of eyes snap up at once. Whispers explode. Who is that? Why is he with Rosie? Is he even in high school? A girl with absolutely no self-preservation instinct waves cheerfully. Rosie, can I hang out with your little brother? Her seatmate goes white and grabs her arm in a panic. Do you have a death wish? The room goes dead silent. Rosie's mouth curves, but her eyes are pure ice. If you're not afraid of what I might do, sure. The girl immediately feels a chill run straight through her. She backtracks instantly. Just kidding. I love studying. Rosie leads me to the very back row. That's Luna's seat. I drop into the forbidden empty spot beside it. Rosie says a few words and steps out of the classroom. The moment she's gone, the hostility hits. A guy with matcha-colored hair sees Rosie go and immediately starts running his mouth. Luna doesn't like having a seatmate. You really shouldn't be sitting there. The whole class goes quiet to watch. The guy glares at me with pure rival energy. I can't be bothered. I pull up my phone without a word. Then a few people walk through the door. Jojo spots me immediately and lights up. You're here too. Alba and Iris follow right behind her, their voices layering over each other, each one warmer than the last. Hey, little bro. I greet them sweetly. How did you end up at Maplewood? Rosie casually answers for me. Came to sit in with me. The whole class is stunned. The guy who is waiting to watch a show goes completely rigid. Every one of Luna's people is fawning over this guy. Jojo turns to me and lowers her voice. Luna's coming to class today. She'll be here soon. I nod obediently. Right then, Rosie storms back in hauling a massive bag of snacks and dumps the whole thing onto Luna's desk. Reese, snacks for you. The class is stunned again. Rosie, who runs ice cold with everyone. Is this warm with him? Then it clicks for everyone. This is the shared little brother of both families. The bell rings. Luna steps through the door right on cue. The room falls instantly silent. Those pale eyes, identical to mine, carrying a settled, refined weight, paired with that eye-catching blue and white hair. Even after 2 years, nobody gets tired of looking at her. But look closer. Luna and this handsome guy actually share a few features, especially around the eyes. While everyone's still guessing, Luna's gaze sweeps the room and lands on me in 1 second flat. She walks quickly to her seat and sits. I'm happily drinking milk, and when I see her, I smile. Luna. Half the class turns to stone. The matcha hair guy's face seizes up completely. Luna doesn't even glance at anyone else. She reaches over and ruffles my hair like it's the most natural thing in the world. What are you doing here? I answer obediently. Flynn brought me over, then I ran into Rosie and ended up here. Luna nods. The teacher walks in, spots me, the extra student, and somehow says nothing. Class just starts. I play on my phone for the entire first period. By the second period, I'm finally bored enough to put it down. I stare at Luna as she works through a test paper. Luna notices immediately. She sets her pen down and tilts her head. Bored? I flatten myself against the desk and nod like a good boy. Luna casually pulls out a practice book and slides it over. Senior year level. Give it a try. I take the pen and start. Meanwhile, at the Shen family estate, the atmosphere is suffocating. Over a dozen people are standing crowded in the living room, completely silent. The calm before a storm. Except for one person. Ash is lounging alone on the sofa, looking at her phone, fingers moving fast across the screen. Her father told her this morning to stay until noon. She wasn't happy about missing time with me, but she did it anyway. She'd barely come downstairs when she walked straight into this. Out of basic courtesy, she has no choice but to sit here as decoration. Ash lazily looks up, eyes passing over her father across the room. Then she scans everyone else. Someone is clearly not happy about something. She looks back down at her phone. Someone finally breaks. A sharp voice tears through the silence. It's a woman named Shen Yun, pointing at Ash, barely holding herself together. Bing is lying in a hospital bed right now, and you're sitting here playing games? Ash finishes her last message without rushing, then slowly looks up. Her dark eyes hold nothing. Not even irritation, just faint contempt. I'm not a doctor. What exactly am I supposed to do about Bing being in the hospital? You care so much. Why aren't you at the hospital instead? Why are you in my house? Shen Yun's expression goes black instantly. She's grinding her teeth. Her lips are shaking. Her eyes are full of hatred. Yun, enough. A soft female voice cuts through the standoff. It's Shen Yun's stepmother. When an elder speaks, Shen Yun has to close her mouth, swallowing the fury she can barely contain. At this razor-edge moment, a completely out-of-place voice pipes up. A younger girl, Shen Yizhu, who has been quietly exhausted from standing, sidles up to her older brother and mutters, "When are we going back to sleep? My legs are killing me." He immediately understands, reaching up to ruffle her hair. "Hang on a bit longer." 2 minutes later, Shen Heng glances at his phone and exchanges a quick look with his son Shen Yun. Something flickers. Bing is awake. At that, the family head Shen Su finally speaks. "All right, let's get ready and go to the hospital." With the family head's word, everyone finally dares to move. At the hospital, outside the private ward, the whole group arrives in force, but the door is shut. Shen Heng's brow creases, voice tight with displeasure. "Didn't you say he was awake?" Someone quickly smooths it over. "Let's just wait a moment." A moment later, the door opens. Shen Yun rushes in like a shot. The others follow. Only Ash stops. She leans lazily against the doorframe and intercepts a passing nurse with a quiet question. "How did the patient end up here?" The nurse's expression shifts slightly. "Car accident." Ash's brow rises. She strides to the bedside. Shen Bing is propped up against the headboard. Face drained white, ugly scrapes across one cheek. Arms and legs encased in thick plaster. Head wrapped so heavily it looks like a dumpling. Ash scans everything without expression, but the questions building inside her are getting heavier by the second. Then Ash's eyes go cold. Beside the bed, a woman named Cheng Siking is crying in that practiced, delicate way. "Bing! Don't ride anymore, please." Shen Bing weakly reassures her. "Mom, I'm fine." Everyone crowds around with concern. The scene is almost touching. Then Shen Bing seems to notice Ash and remembers something his father told him. He calls out weakly, "Ash!" But Ash doesn't take the opening. She answers flatly, "We're not close." Dead silence. Shen Bing's expression doesn't change. He just sighs quietly. "It was just an accident." Right then, Shen Heng, who has been waiting for exactly this moment, pounces. "Ash, Bing is reaching out to you in good faith. What kind of attitude is that?" Shen Bing keeps up the act, coughing twice. "Dad, don't blame Ash. I was just careless." Shen Yun locks his eyes onto Ash and finally shows his teeth. His voice goes sharp, pressing forward. "The person who hit Bing is refusing to talk, won't give up who ordered it. Looking at how calm you are, it's like you already knew. Maybe you were the one who arranged it." Faced with the accusation, Ash just laughs, short and cold. Her voice is infuriatingly calm. "No evidence. Don't wrongfully accuse someone." Shen Yun nearly stamps her foot. "If it wasn't you, why are you so calm?" Ash fires back with complete innocence. "I was never close to him. Why shouldn't I be calm?" Shen Su finally steps in, silencing Shen Yun with a sharp look. But Shen Yun's eyes are already red and she ignores the family head entirely, jabbing a finger at Ash. "Don't think I don't see it. Ever since grandfather passed the leadership to your father, you've had it out for all of us." Ash's smile goes fully contemptuous. "That's hilarious. The position belongs to my father. Why would I bother resenting people like you? The strongest leads. If you're not good enough, who is there to blame?" In the corner, another girl who knows exactly what it's like to be sidelined watches with wide, delighted eyes. "Oh, things are getting good." Another girl beside her tries to chime in, immediately gets a hand clapped over her mouth by her brother. "Shh, don't say a word." He knows exactly how dangerous Shen Heng's family can be. He's not letting his sister get caught in the crossfire. Then the fourth uncle finally steps in to smooth things over. "Enough. The priority right now is finding whoever did this." Ash is laughing coldly inside. Whoever did this. In her eyes, this whole thing was staged by Shen Heng and his son from the start. Shen Bing opens his mouth again. Performance fully committed. "Ash, I'm really glad you came to see me." He even manages a brave little smile. Ash feels physically sick. This family really is something. Shen Heng, seeing his moment, turns his dark eyes on Ash. "Bing is talking to you." Ash hits maximum indifference. Then Shen Su erupts, stepping in front of Ash like a shield. Everyone stand down. He looks directly at Shen Heng. "Don't think I don't know what you've been doing behind the scenes. I've let it go out of family loyalty." He looks around the room. "Ash came here in good faith to see Shen Bing, and you want to pour filth on her?" Shen Heng lets out a cold sound. The fury inside him never stops burning. If not for this brother of his, everything in the Shen family would already be his. As both sides reach a breaking point, a crisp notification tone cuts through the room. Shen Heng picks up his phone. His pupils contract sharply. Something strange passes through his eyes. He looks up. His voice drops. "Word from the police. The driver who hit Shen Bing, cerebral hemorrhage, dead on the scene." But that's not the most alarming part. What catches Shen Heng's attention is another name. Yu Cheng. She and Shen Bing were hit by the same car. At the name Yu Cheng, Ash raises her eyes slightly. Now things are getting interesting. Shen Yun's brow furrows in alarm. "How did he die?" He immediately turns to the bed. "Bing, you were with Yu Cheng again today?" Shen Bing sips the water his mother holds for him, completely unapologetic. "Yes." Cheng Siking hears this and her face goes dark. "I told you to stop getting close to that outside girl. She's nothing but trouble." Shen Bing brushes it off. "I know." Cheng Siking smiles softly. "Mom would never lead you wrong." Ash watches this tender mother-son performance with zero interest. She glances at the time, done pretending. She looks at her father directly. "Dad, I'm heading out." Shen Su plays along perfectly. He turns to the others. "We'll head back. There's something at the company." Shen Heng, his head full of thoughts about a dead witness, gives only a slight nod. The elevator doors close. Ash's father drops the serious face in an instant. His gossip instincts ignite completely. "Ash, how are things going with Reese?" "Shen Su watched me grow up. When I disappeared a while back, both families were in a panic. It wasn't until a few days ago that she, as school board director, received a transfer application and without hesitation placed me in Class A, specifically as her daughter's seatmate. Ash looks up, eyes sharp. You knew? Shensu grins. I'm the school board director, how could I not? Why didn't you tell me? Ash's tone goes cold. Shensu doesn't flinch at all. She switches straight into teasing mode. Reese left because he was upset. Obviously you're the one who made him unhappy. What, haven't made up yet? Tisk, tisk, that's pathetic. She pats Ash on the shoulder and gives her the most serious advice she has. Get back to school and go after him. Wait any longer and some other girl will steal him away. At those words, Ash turns slightly, and the faint curve that appears is unreadable. You should focus on patching things up with Mom first. She's still sulking. Took herself on an overseas vacation to get away from you. That lands hard. Shensu lets out a long sigh. Can't you put in a good word for me? Ding. The elevator opens. Ash steps out. Who was it that kept bragging about having Mom completely wrapped around her finger? If you've got her so under control, why do you need me to say anything? Shensu has absolutely no comeback. Then Ash's phone lights up. The moment she sees who it is, her eyes go soft. Reese messaged me. She says it and walks away, leaving her thoroughly wounded parent behind, fingers already typing back. Meanwhile, back at Maplewoods Class A, I've barely left when the class erupts. The Song family doesn't have a son. Didn't the Moore family send someone overseas? The noise builds, then a cold voice cuts straight through it. Enough! Rosie looks up, eyes full of quiet frost. That was Luna's actual blood brother, and my only little brother. If I find out anyone has been spreading rumors, don't expect either of our families to show mercy. The crowd shakes with fear, swearing on their lives. We'd never. We're too busy studying to gossip. Luna drops me at Thornfield's gate and disappears. When I get back to Class A, class is just starting. The homeroom teacher waves me in. Come on. Dozens of eyes lock onto me. I have no idea why and just tiptoe toward my seat. I reach for the chair, and a long-fingered hand gets there first, pulling it out just enough. I slide in. Ash tilts her head, voice barely above a whisper. Where did you go? I whisper back. Maplewood. Went to find Luna. Ash props her chin in one hand and nods like that makes perfect sense. Up at the front, the homeroom teacher is practically glowing as he brandishes a stack of papers. Yesterday's language exam is graded. This one was college entrance level. Barely anyone in the whole grade broke 140. He pauses, eyes landing with precision on a certain corner of the room, voice trembling with barely contained pride. But 2 students in our class scored 146, tied for first in the grade. The class barely processes it before the murmuring erupts. Applause starting and everyone craning their necks. Has to be Ash. Obviously, her language score never drops below 140. Who's the other one? Elliot is consistent, but he's never broken 140 either. The teacher doesn't drag it out. He picks up the first paper, pride impossible to hide. Ash, 146, still first. The class erupts in applause, eyes full of admiration. Of course it's Ash. Keeping that score at this difficulty level is incredible. But who's the other first? Is it Elliot? Elliot, hearing his name, shakes his head immediately. No chance. My absolute ceiling was 137. While everyone's still guessing, the teacher picks up the second paper and drops the bomb. Reese also scored 146. Just transferred and already keeping up at this level. Remarkable. Boom. The classroom detonates. Nobody believes what they just heard. He just arrived and he's nearly perfect. Tied with Ash for first? That's insane. These 2 seatmates are something else. I barely sit up straight before Ash reaches over and takes both papers, both immaculate. Not a single correction mark. She slides my paper back to me, eyes warm with something unspoken, a praise that needs no words. Vera leans back in her chair behind them. Ash, did you 2 plan to score the same? Ash doesn't even look back. If you spent more time on practice problems, you wouldn't keep hovering around 130. Practice problems? Vera's eyes go wide, like she's just heard something absurd. I barely have enough time to have fun. What practice problems? Watching Ash's effortless genius routine, Vera lets out a petulant huff. We both balance work and play. How are you so far ahead? I scored 130. Serena, suppressing a smile, reaches over and knocks Vera lightly on the head. It's fine. Our Vera has a fortune to inherit. Up front, the teacher is clearly not done with this legendary seatmate pair. His voice is even more excited than before. And it's not just the total score. Their patriotic essays have been selected as the model for the entire grade. Both lost only 2 points. Ash reads the teacher's intentions in an instant. In a rare good mood, she slides the papers directly to Elliot. Elliot thanks her and turns. Before he can even look, heads crowd in from every direction. Class president scores again. You got both legendary papers? Let me pay my respects. An essay that only lost 2 points. This is basically a perfect model. While this side is buzzing, Vera on the other side sighs and flops her 131 paper onto the desk. She jabs a finger at the essay section, completely done with life. You 2 are genuinely ruthless. One writes about national duty, one writes about everyday warmth, and I write about a soccer match and get docked for it. She shakes her head, voice thoroughly sour. If only I'd paid more attention when we were kids. Serena happens to walk over, glances at the paper. You didn't fail failed to learn. You were too busy copying me. Vera laughs despite herself. 3rd grade I wrote I wanted to be a programmer and protect network security, and you changed yours to becoming a soccer player and protecting the order of the field. The teacher read it out loud in front of everyone. The whole class laughed for half the period. I was little, okay? Vera panics and immediately changes the subject, turning to me. Your essay mentioned your grandmother. I just remembered visiting when we were kids. Her red date porridge was so sweet. That memory seems to spark something else. Listening to Vera, my eyes light up and I turn to Ash. I remember, back then Ash had scraped her knee badly, but she gritted through the pain and insisted on giving me the fresh dates she was holding, then went home and got severely scolded by her grandfather for it. Ash reaches up and lightly brushes my hair with her palm, voice full of fond exasperation. Someone kept complaining the dates weren't sweet enough. I couldn't just let you wait for nothing. At those words, my face goes warm. I was 7 years old back then. I'd believe some rumor that dates picked early were sweeter, and anything picked later would taste like nothing. But my grandmother liked the quiet, and the housekeeper was busy. I sulked and complained the dates weren't sweet anymore. Ash, who has never been able to stand watching me feel wronged, climbed the tree barehanded without a second thought. Serena leans against the desk and casually delivers the finishing detail. And I was the one who found the bandages for Ash afterward. Meanwhile, Vera was right there copying your crying, and Ash chased her across half the courtyard for it. Why is this about me again? Vera immediately panics and shoves at Serena. You have nerve. Remember when you swore you'd be a cybersecurity expert and protect the country? First time you touched a computer, you scrambled every single icon on the desktop. Reese ended up having to fix it for you. Old stories again. I can't help laughing. Serena had gone as red as a tomato that day, and insisted it was the first step in cyber disguise. We laughed about it for days. Seeing the two about to start up again, Ash stands up and steps between them, delivering 2 flat words. Let's eat. All 4 of them settle down and stand to leave. Meanwhile, back at the hospital ward, everyone from the Shen family has cleared out except for Shen Heng's branch. Shen Bing is slumped lazily against the headboard playing games. His mother Cheng Si-king looks over with concern. Bing, anything you want to eat? Not hungry. Cheng Si-king turns to Shen Yun sitting nearby. Yun, what about you? He doesn't look up from his phone. Not hungry either. Just then, Shen Heng finishes a call and enters, walking straight to Shen Yun. Come back with me. Cheng Si-king is here. Don't waste time. Study company management. Then she drops her voice and warns Shen Bing quietly. Don't go to that thing. Stay away from those friends of yours. They'll drag you into trouble. Shen Yun nods silently. Fine. Shen Heng takes Shen Yun out of the ward and finds a quiet spot. The stern front drops instantly, replaced by something far darker. I've cleaned everything up around the Shen Bing situation. We were careless this time. The original target was supposed to be Ash, but somehow it got tangled up with the Yu family, and we never expected to hit our own son. Fortunately, all the evidence points to the drunk driver who died on the scene, so nothing leaked. Shen Yun lets out a cold sound. Ash has probably already figured it out. If not for Ash, the Shen family heir would already be the 2 of us. By rights of birth order, the family should go to Shen Heng, but the second uncle took the seat by force. Thinking about it, Shen Yun's pupils contract sharply. The cultivated exterior collapses into something vicious. Shen Heng pats his shoulder. Don't rush, Yun. Everything in this family will be ours eventually. She shifts tone and brings up something old. Tomorrow is your mother's memorial. I'll take you to visit her. Shen Yun is already used to nodding without a word. While those two are scheming, on the other side, our group has just stepped out of the restaurant, and I look up straight into 2 familiar faces. A girl named Shen Sikian lets out a soft gasp and tugs at the sleeve of the woman beside her. The woman looks up and meets Ash's gaze head on. Ash, out eating? Ash's expression stays completely neutral as she glances over both of them. Then, like it's nothing, she casually asks, how is Shen Bing doing? At that, Cheng Si-king's smile stays in place. Much better. She nudges Shen Sikian, who dutifully greets everyone. Then her eyes flick quickly to me, a flash of surprise, replaced immediately with a sweet smile. Reese, when did you get back? Looking at that fake smile, I put on my own practice one in return. Shen Sikian goes for sweet and innocent, but Ash can't even be bothered with the hollow pleasantries. She doesn't engage at all. She just says flatly, we're heading back to school, and turns and walks. Not a single extra word for either of them. Once they've completely disappeared from view, Vera finally speaks up. Ash, I heard that woman's daughter got hit in the same accident as Yu Cheng. Ash scoffs, eyes full of contempt, still in the hospital. Then Serena suddenly remembers something massive. Yu Cheng's mother suspected Ash. Vera is about to push back, but Ash waves a lazy hand. Don't bother. Shen Heng's family is the one pointing fingers at me. Vera explodes immediately, jabbing in the direction Cheng Si-king walked off. What right do they have? Shen Bing goes out and causes trouble on her own, and when things go wrong, she dumps it on you? Shameless. Serena grabs Vera's arm and speaks in a lowered voice, thinking it through. Shen Heng is cornered. The accident cost him half his deal with the Yu family. He has to find someone to take the fall. At that, a cold smile pulls at my mouth. I don't think this was an accident at all. Who would dare make a move this bold unless it was an inside job? Ash turns to me. The ice in her eyes slightly softer, but her voice is chilling. Exactly. The driver dies right there. Identity completely fabricated. No record of them anywhere. This was a clean setup from the start. Vera is unsettled now, about to say something, but Ash shuts the topic down with complete ease. It's fine. My dad will handle it. Just as the mood goes heavy, a surprised male voice cuts through the air. Reese! I turn around on instinct. Flynn barrels into me with a bear hug. Long time no see. Want to hang out this afternoon? He nods to the others, but the moment his eyes land on Ash's cold expression, he instinctively shrinks. He leans close to my ear and mutters, Reese? Why is Ash still like walking ice? It's alarming. I pause and look at Ash, and the woman who was radiating frost 1 second ago is now looking at me with something that dissolves every trace of cold. Even the teardrop mole at the corner of her eye looks captivating. What's wrong? The sheer contrast nearly pops Flynn's eyes right out of his head. He grabs my arm and starts vibrating with excitement. Look, she talks to you like a completely different person. 5 seconds ago she looked at me like I owed her money. I blink, completely innocent. Cold? I didn't notice anything. Flynn rolls his eyes. Forget it. The ultimate double standard. At the school gate, students have lost their minds. Stunning looks flying in my direction. Isn't that the new school's top guy? He looks even better in person. Worth every penny I spent hiring people to vote him to the top overnight. The bell cuts through the crowd perfectly. Flynn waves goodbye. The group heads back in. It's the afternoon free practice period. Vera and Serena head to the archery and equestrian range. I walk with Ash to the art studio. The space is quiet and wide, only a few people inside. I've just fixed my paper in place, pencil spinning between my fingers as I think, when something is quietly pushed toward me from the side. A palette, already prepared. Somehow, without me noticing, Ash has already mixed all the colors and loaded the brushes. I blink in surprise and ask casually, aren't you going to paint? Why do you keep watching me? Ash's voice drops, carrying a softness so faint it's almost invisible. No need, I'll watch you. I set the pencil down and reach for the brush, and my fingertip accidentally grazes hers. The warmth makes my hand pause for just a second. I look up and fall straight into Ash's downcast gaze. The teardrop mole at the corner of her eye catches the light, and for once, most of the coldness is gone. Two girls nearby can't contain their shock. Ash actually mixed the colors herself. Every other time she's been here, she never touched anything. Their voices are quiet, but they reach me. I glance at Ash instinctively, and she is completely unbothered, like she heard nothing at all, just watching me with that quiet ease. I pull my eyes back. I grip the brush. The moment the tip touches paper, there is no hesitation at all. She doesn't sketch first, not even a layout. I lift my wrist and make the first stroke. Pale gray bleeds across the surface, and in an instant, a desolate wasteland opens up. Cracked earth, crumbling wall edges dry and hollow. Further down, a curved dead branch, radiating a suffocating desolation. The two girls who were gossiping are completely transfixed. How is the color sense this insane? How did he blend the pale yellow and light brown to be that translucent? I'd make mud. The other girl quickly points. Ash mixed those. Who would have thought Ash could predict every single color she'd need? Time passes quietly. The room falls into a hush. Every eye stuck to my paper. Just when everyone assumes this is going to be a painting about despair, the turn comes. I dip into pale pink and dot defiant wildflowers into the gaps of the crumbled wall. Then I switch to soft green and coax a few shoots of new growth out of the cracks in the dead wood. The observers are stunned, speechless. That's the new top guy, right? He tied Ash in language arts, and now he paints like this? Ash's eyes move from the painting to my face. She notices my fingertip has picked up a smear of color and stands. Go wash up. I was only painting for fun anyway. I agree and get up. Ash takes a call and heads toward the range. I walk alone to the washroom, and the moment I push the door open, a whole scene is already in motion. Who told you to brush up against Serena? Why don't you just disappear? A sharp voice stabs the air. 4 or 5 guys are circling a boy with glasses. The one leading the group is someone who already caused trouble yesterday, Lang Feng. The boy with glasses has a fresh handprint on his face and is crying as he tries to explain. I bumped into her by accident. Lang Feng shoves him. Still talking back? Don't forget your mom works for my family. I raise an eyebrow slightly and walk to the sink like nobody else is in the room. I turn on the tap and squeeze out the soap unhurried. Who said you could come in? Someone snaps at me. I don't hear it. I rinse the color from my fingers, then turn my head and look at Lang Feng. My voice is lazy and completely unbothered. Do I need your permission to walk into a washroom? Lang Feng takes one look at my face, and every grudge he's been carrying floods back. Why are you everywhere? I ask with total indifference, does that concern you? Then my eyes land on the boy in the middle, covered in footprints, biting back tears. Whatever warmth I had left disappears completely. I turn off the tap and walk straight into the circle. I pull the boy to his feet. That tips Lang Feng over the edge. He'd just been reading the school forum. He knows about me and Serena being childhood friends, and the jealousy is eating him alive. He glances around the room, confirms Ash is gone, confirms nobody else is here, and lets the ugliness rise. Let's see what you do without Ash here to protect you. No cameras in here either. He shoves the glasses boy aside hard and swings a slap at my face. No cameras. I watch the hand coming toward me and let a cold smile form on my lips. Even better, the words barely leave my mouth. My wrist flips, locking onto Lang Feng's wrist, and I apply pressure. Lang Feng's face drains instantly. He screams, "Let go! You dare touch me!" One of his crew shouts and lunges for my back. I don't even turn my head. I just sidestep, and my ankle brushes his with the lightest flick of motion. He loses his footing completely and crashes hard onto the tile. I still don't look back. I calmly brush the dust off the glasses boy's bag. But that quiet, controlled strength leaking off me is impossible to hide. What if I touch you? Last time I let it go, you came to me this time. The remaining 3 exchange a look and rush me at once. One grabs my arm, one goes for my hair, trying to overwhelm with numbers. I click my tongue once, gently push the glasses boy to the side, release Lang Feng's wrist at the same time, and slip sideways in one clean motion. The grab from the left finds nothing. I catch the arm of the one on the right, use his own momentum and fling him. He slams into the edge of the sink with a heavy thud. Useless. Lang Feng watches his crew fold one by one, and actually tries to come at me from behind. His hands reach for my head, but I move like I have eyes in the back of my skull. Without turning, I drive my elbow straight back, landing clean in the center of Lang Feng's stomach. He folds like a shrimp, tears forced out by the pain. Before he can recover, I grab his arm from behind and press him face first against the sink, cheek against the cold tile. At that, the rest panic completely. I drop Lang Feng like I'm tossing out trash, voice full of amused contempt. Come on, don't hide. It's no fun when you go down this fast. Then, like I've just remembered something, I put on an expression of exaggerated guilt and regret. My bad, I forgot. You don't have a mom. Nobody to teach you manners. I sigh with completely performative sadness, voice dragging out the last words. How tragic. Lang Feng is shaking with rage, hands over his stomach, but he doesn't dare move again. The two guys scramble to help him up, not making a single sound. The washroom goes quiet. Just the glasses boy standing there with his mouth in a perfect O, completely world-shattered. I look back at him and press a hand to my forehead. Why are you just standing there? No time to explain. I grab his hand and shove his bag into his arms. Move. Run. The two of us sprint all the way to the elevator at the end of the hall, and once I confirm nobody's following, I press the button. I roll my arms slightly, faintly sore. Honestly, they were even weaker than I expected. I've barely done anything physical in nearly a semester. Behind me, the boy catches his breath quietly. His glasses have slid down to the tip of his nose. He lifts his red-rimmed eyes and bows properly. Thank you. I'm Mo Song. Song as in the word for song. First year. I can't help but laugh. You don't know who I am? I'm Reese. First year too. Just a simple introduction. But the moment he hears first year, Mo Song reacts like he's been stung. He instinctively ducks his head, burying it further. I remember now. I wasn't laughing at Serena. I really did bump into her by accident. By the end, his voice is trembling. The elevator opens. We walk into the lobby. I'm confused. I didn't accuse you of anything. What are you explaining? And what's wrong with Class A? Mo Song stumbles over his words for a long moment before he finally admits what happened. Turns out when he first enrolled, he was also in Class A. He simply sat too close to Serena one day, which triggered Lang Feng's jealousy. He was forced to transfer out, and ever since he hasn't dared to score high enough on exams in case he gets placed back and targeted again. I laugh coldly. Because you bumped into Serena, Lang Feng has been after you. Mo Song doesn't dare say more. He just nods. After a long hesitation, he finally voices the thing he's most afraid of. Lang Feng said, if I ever get near Serena again, he'll make sure my mom loses her job in his house. I stop walking. I look at Mo Song. The glare off his lenses hides his eyes, but it can't hide how scared he is. He's clearly been holding it together at the absolute limit, refusing to let himself cry. My mom says it's fine, she told me not to fight him, but I really didn't do anything wrong. Using someone's mother's livelihood as leverage, a move that disgusting deserves no mercy. Looking at Mo Song, I think of myself when I first transferred. Someone ran their mouth to my face back then too. My response was to throw my bag into theirs. I haven't gotten into fights because I didn't want to cause problems for my sisters, but today, I'm not walking away from this one. I smile. You did nothing wrong. Mo Song goes completely still. He looks up instinctively. Through those lenses, he sees dark brown hair catching the sunlight softly, the sharp line of my profile, and between my brows, a warmth he's never seen before. Nothing like the terrifying version from moments ago. Mo Song feels like he might sink into that look. Then I tilt my chin at him, and my voice slips right back into that untouchable arrogance. Don't worry. From now on, I've got you covered. Anything comes up, come find me in Class A, first year, right below your floor. Mo Song stares at me, and his eyes go red again. I assume he's worried about causing trouble, and I laugh suddenly, completely unashamed. Honestly, I can't stand staying out of things. That single line breaks Mo Song completely. The tears come all at once, running down his face, landing on my sleeve in a small spreading stain. I don't bother with grand speeches. I pull out a sealed pack of tissues and hand it over. But then, hey, why are you? He takes the tissues and cries harder. Now I'm a little panicked. My mind goes somewhere unexpected. Do you want me to mention it to my eldest sister? I actually start reaching for my phone, but Mo Song quickly wipes his face between sobs and grabs my hand with trembling fingers, barely getting the words out. Thank you. I just needed to cry. I let out a sigh. Mo Song's cheeks are burning. He's finally steadying himself. Reese, I'm okay now. I'm about to say something else when my phone goes off. I glance at it and pick up immediately. Ash. The moment I hear her voice, mine goes soft. Yeah, I'm on my way. Something's happened with Serena. They're all at the range. No time to waste. I hold up my phone. Give me your number. But Mo Song's expression dims. His voice drops to almost nothing. I don't have a phone. No phone? In this day and age, a high school student without a phone. Before I can even finish processing that, he lifts his head with quiet determination. I'll be able to buy one once I finish my weekend job. I've been doing tutoring. I nod. No time to ask more. I have to go. Head home early. And remember, anything comes up, come find me in Class A. I give him one last smile and turn to leave, leaving him standing there in a daze. On the other side of the school, I follow the map at a fast clip. A few minutes later, I round the corner into the range, and the moment I do, a crash of impact and raw shouting hits my ears. The last thing I wanted to see is right in front of me. Serena is leaning against a target, blood at the corner of her mouth. Beside her, Vera is being pinned into the sand by two outsiders. One of them raises a fist. Vera thrashes with everything she has, screaming, "You have no idea who you're messing with. Are you done with your life?" But the bald guy just laughs coldly boldly and grinds his foot into Vera's side. Right then, Ash kicks the bald guy off his feet and pulls Vera up in one motion. Get back! Instantly, over a dozen guys behind him rush forward and close around Ash. The students watching from the stands are shaking, hands trembling as they try to get their phones out. They actually went after Serena and Vera. Are these people insane? I immediately call security, then dial emergency. Once that's done, I don't rush forward recklessly. Instead, I use the chaos to get to Serena and pull her aside. Ash glances at me for just a second, and in that one moment of distraction, someone lunges with a broken blade. But Ash doesn't even turn her head. Her wrist snaps, locking onto the attacker's wrist, knuckles going white under her grip, forcing out a suppressed grunt of pain. Ash barely twists. The blade drops. The attacker goes flying with his own momentum and crashes into the row behind him. Useless! The bald guy, furious at being dropped by a high schooler, roars at his crew. What are you standing around for? All of you, go! Vera is still rubbing her side and moving to join, but Serena grabs her back. Don't! She wipes the blood from her mouth, voice cold. We'd only split Ash's focus. I force myself calm too. I know I'm not their match here. Just then, a broad man in a black tank top circles around and drives a heavy punch straight at the left side of Ash's face. My pupils snap wide. I cry out before I can stop myself. Ash! Left! But Ash moves like she already knew. Her left foot pulls back half a step. Her body tilts slightly. The punch slides past. The next second, her right elbow drives hard into his ribs. He doubles over instantly, face going white. Ash gives him no chance to recover. Grabs him by the collar, yanks forward, then shoves hard back. Another wave goes down. Through all of it, not a single strand of Ash's hair is out of place. But those eyes are so cold it's unsettling. I stand there, fingertips numb. I always knew Ash could fight, but I've never seen her actually mean it. The Ash who teases me and goes gentle. There's no trace of her now. Every movement is clean, exact, and carries a ruthlessness underneath. That natural inborn pressure completely freezes me. Vera is gripping her fists in desperation. Watching Ash hold off 7 or 8 people alone, she's about to charge in, but Serena pulls her back again. Don't go, we'd only distract her. While she's still speaking, someone behind Ash lunges in a sneak attack, but Ash doesn't break her stance at all. She catches the ankle with a reverse grip and twists. A crack, then a scream. The ankle bends at a wrong angle. Vera is seething. I can't just stand here and watch Ash fight alone. My expression goes flat. Hold on. Security is almost here. But the moment I say it, my eyes sweep the edge of the field, broken blades scattered nearby. At the stable entrance, several bridles with metal clips are hanging on the wall. A plan clicks into place. Nobody move. The next second, while everyone's attention is elsewhere, I rip down the longest bridle. But right then, the bald leader is clutching his stomach, eyes suddenly blazing. He scans the field, and spots 2 recurve bows still loaded in the corner rack. He lunges for one and raises it. The arrow points straight at Vera. Don't move. Move again, and I put this through her arm. Serena's face goes hard. Without even thinking, she steps in front of Vera and meets the bald guy's eyes without flinching. Try it. Why wouldn't I? His hand is shaking, but he forces the bow to full draw. At that razor-thin moment, I swing the bridle behind him with everything I have. It wraps tight around his ankle on impact. His footing gives. The bow fires off course. The arrow grazes Serena's shoulder and buries itself in the sand. Now, Ash seizes the gap, left hand pinning his wrist, right hand already drawn back. A single punch lands on his jaw. The sharp crack of bone follows. His head snaps back and he crumples to the ground like wet sand. The rest of the crew goes red-eyed and surges forward screaming. But Ash hasn't even broken her breathing. She puts them all down in a handful of moves and leans against the post, completely unhurried. Running already? I thought you were tough. In the distance, sirens. A dozen security guards rush in swinging rubber batons. Everyone down! Hands behind your heads! The head of security spots Ash and the others and rushes over. Miss Ash, are you all right? Vera points to her own battered face and lets out a mournful cry. I am not all right. But Ash walks straight toward the group, voice completely level. They made the first move. It's all on camera. Don't worry, Miss Ash. We'll take them in right now. As the bald leader gets dragged out, he still can't let it go. He turns back and fixes a hard stare on Serena, but Serena doesn't even glance at him. She just walks to Ash's side and pats her shoulder. Ash rolls her wrist out, but her eyes fall on my hand, faintly red, and her brow pulls together. Why didn't you move further back? My voice comes out with a pout. I was scared you'd get hurt. The tension in her face dissolves immediately. Take care of yourself first. Vera sidles over, rubbing her side with a groan. My face, my back. What am I supposed to do if I'm permanently ruined? I glance at her. Come on, infirmary. At the infirmary, the school nurse barely dares to breathe. Once I've washed my hands, I finally ask, brow drawn. What actually happened? Why did they come after you? Vera sits up, still furious. The bald guy came straight at Serena and challenged her to a sword match. Lost, then started swinging for real. Serena says nothing, letting the nurse work. But right then, Ash reaches over and takes my hand, gently massaging the red marks on my fingers. I pause, then blurt out, could this be the Leng family? The infirmary goes silent. Ash's hands stop. She looks up at me. I immediately recount what Leng Feng did to Mosong. Serena's hand stops mid-wipe, eyes going cold in an instant. He actually had the nerve. Vera slams the table. If it was him, I am going to make him pay. He actually had people come after my Serena. Then Vera remembers something. A critical detail. Those guys weren't going full force at first. They were even muttering to each other. Something like, nobody said this goo girl was this soft. If we hurt her too bad, are we still getting paid? They were actually about to leave. It was me charging at them that made it turn into a fight. Ash doesn't rush to conclusions. She just keeps quietly working on my hand. I'll have someone look into their backgrounds. But before the words even fully land, my phone goes off. An urgent voice comes through. Young master. They're not talking, just saying they're tourists. Tourists. Sure. Ash's eyes go still. Nothing but cold. Wait a few minutes. She starts making her own calls. Less than 10 minutes later, I get a message. I read it out loud, word by word. Their hotel registration is fake identities, but the account that paid for the rooms is linked to a shell company under the Yu family. Boom. Vera explodes out of her seat. My family? Serena chokes on her water mid-sip. Vera immediately starts explaining herself. Serena, don't look at me like that. It wasn't us. But I let a cold smile form at the corner of my mouth and say quietly, the Yu family isn't just you. Vera catches on immediately. Besides her and her father, there's Yu Cheng and the stepmother. She shakes her head right way. Not the stepmother. She doesn't have that kind of reach, which leaves only one person. Just then my phone lights up again. I look up and say 2 words. Yu Cheng. I knew it. Vera drives her fist into the bed rail. She gets hit by a car and she's still not staying put, and she actually dares to go after Serena. Ash's eyes flood cold. She cuts straight to the point. Yu Cheng has no real power in the Yu family. How does she have access to a shell company account? Vera speaks through clenched teeth. My dad must have handed her a few fringe companies to manage his practice. The more she talks, the angrier she gets. She reaches for her phone. I'm calling my dad right now. Serena immediately presses down on her wrist. Vera, don't do anything rash. Even as she says it, the coldness in Serena's own eyes is bottomless. The next second, Ash's phone gets a message. She doesn't say a word. She opens a screenshot of a transaction record and passes it to the group. Then Ash delivers the key detail. The payment for the rooms was made yesterday afternoon. I look up sharply. If Yu Cheng actually wanted to make a move, why would she use people this unprofessional? A glint passes through Ash's eyes, like she already sees every move on the board. There's one possibility. Yu Cheng wanted exactly that. Someone unprofessional. She speaks slowly, peeling back the scheme word by word. Hire outsiders from out of town. Use fake identities for the hotel. Even if it gets traced, she can claim it's a setup. Pay through a fringe shell company account, and that's the deliberate loose thread. If nobody finds it, she's clean. If someone does find it, she plays the victim and says the account was hacked. Keeps herself spotless either way. That's genuinely terrifying. Vera's spine goes cold, but something still doesn't add up for me. Going after Serena just to grab an inheritance. The logic doesn't hold. Unless Yu Cheng and Leng Feng are working together. One wants to use the situation to pressure Vera. The other wants payback on Serena. Just then, Serena, who has been quiet this whole time, slowly speaks. They're in the same class. Everything clicks at once. Vera launches off the bed. I don't care what the scheme is. I'm calling my dad right now. Serena grabs her back. Vera, we don't have direct evidence. Knowing Yu Cheng, she'll just cry and say we're mistaken. Vera's face goes red with fury. So we just let it go? Serena sighs. Go to your dad first. The moment there's even one piece of real evidence, he'll dig until it's finished. After saying their goodbyes, I've barely stepped out of the school gate when a message pops up. It's Lucas. I'm on the bus back. About to have a very important confrontation. Don't miss me. I can't help laughing. I send Flynn a message. Flynn, I'm out. Meanwhile, at a bubble tea shop not far away, chaos has already broken out. What is wrong with you? Can you even afford to replace this? Flynn looks toward the noise and sees a girl in a server uniform fallen on the floor, completely disheveled. A sharply dressed young man is standing over her, screaming. Then he shifts and a smirk crawls onto his face. Hey, pretty girl. Spilling coffee on me on purpose? Trying to get my attention? I'll admit, it worked. I'll give you a chance. Become my girl. The girl named Jiaxi snaps her head up. She's been putting up with this guy harassing her for a week. He just deliberately tripped her. She's done. Something wrong with you? You really think you're a legitimate heir? You're just the An family's outside son. The room detonates. An outside son? Tisk tisk tisk. Which one from the An family? So embarrassing. The guy, Rex, goes completely rigid, then erupts in humiliated fury. He grabs a piece of broken glass from the floor and hurls it at Jiaxi. She dodges easily, contempt rising. What? The outside boy can't take it. Rex's face goes crimson. His expression twists, and he actually pulls out a small blade and charges straight at her. Screams erupt all around, and at that very moment, Flynn, who has been watching with cold amusement, shoots to his feet without a word and launches a kick. It lands clean on Rex's wrist with a heavy impact. Rex grunts and the blade clatters to the floor. Before he can process what happened, a foot comes down hard on his hand. Flynn tilts his head, that bold, unrestrained face breaking into a grin. What? Trying to push around a little girl? Screams burst from every direction. Oh my, he's so cool. Rex is baring his teeth through the pain but still raging. Do you know who I am? I'm an An family heir. The An family won't let this go. Flynn laughs lightly and drives his foot down harder at the same time. I'm so scared. Rex thinks he's winning. He shouts immediately, then get on your knees and beg for forgiveness. But the next second, Flynn's eyes go ice cold. Apologize to you? Then he says 3 words that land like a thunderclap. Outside, son. Rex goes completely white. How does he know? Flynn's eyes are full of contempt. The N family, the lowest ranked name in this city, and not even a legitimate one, just an outside son with no standing. Cross the Lin family, and we never run from trouble. Rex, you dared trip me. I am a Xia family member. Rex's head nearly explodes. The Xia family, fourth ranked in the city. Impossible. Why would a Xia heir be working in a bubble tea shop? When her father brought Rex back into the An family, he made one thing absolutely clear. Don't provoke any of the city's elite families. Rex had been walking on eggshells for so long. He was looking for someone soft and easy. Instead, he just kicked 2 iron walls at once. Before he can even react, a voice cuts through, carrying even more weight. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The An family's outside son makes quite a scene. A figure steps out of the crowd, contempt completely unhidden. Rex looks up, and the blood drains from his face. He goes limp on the spot. It's Vera, the Yu family's eldest daughter. Gasps ripple through the crowd. It's Vera, and isn't that Serena beside her? On the sofa around the corner of the wall, a young man is lounging loosely, straw between his lips, ice blue eyes catching the light. As the commotion gets louder, his elegant brows draw together slightly. Those translucent eyes lose every trace of warmth. There's a thin, refined irritation beneath the cool. The look of someone precious who does not appreciate being disturbed. The air around him seems to solidify. Mu Yangquan sets down what he's holding and rises slowly. The voice that comes from beneath those loose bangs is dripping with impatience. So loud. Just then, one of his guards, Song Zei, leans in quietly. Young master, I think I just heard Miss Vera's voice. You stay here, let me check. Mu Yangquan takes back his earbuds, something briefly amused passing through his eyes. The Yu family heir. He settles back into the sofa, expression returning to that detached coolness. You and the other one go take a look. Both guards dissolve into the crowd instantly. Meanwhile, the shop manager finally arrives, cold sweat already breaking on his forehead. He steps through the door, and the first things he sees are Vera and Serena. His knees go weak. Miss Vera, Miss Serena, this is entirely my failure as a manager. I'll remove this person immediately. Vera has bandages on her face. Her beautiful features are full of irritation. She glances at Rex with pure disgust. Get him out of here. Rex, already white-faced, doesn't even get to open his mouth. Flynn smiles. That smile is sly and disarming. Why don't you get on your knees and apologize to the young lady? Thud. Rex kneels in front of Xia Shi without a second's hesitation. He bows his head to the floor. Miss Xia, I was blind and foolish. Please forgive me. The next second he pivots to Vera and bows again. Miss Vera, I caused a disturbance and disturbed you. I'm leaving right now. The 2 guards who just arrived take in the whole scene. When the manager spots them, his heart jolts again. Those are the personal guards of Mu Yangquan, the Moore family's youngest. The manager wants to cry. What kind of day is this shop having? He rushes over and bows. Is the young master here? Song Zei points at the sofa behind the wall, brief and clean. He's there. He doesn't appreciate the noise. The manager's head rings. He immediately has Rex thrown out and clears the crowd. Praying none of these impossible people decides to say something like, weather's turning cold, might be time to close up shop. Once it's handled, Vera links arms with Serena and heads for the door. I'm out. Xia has completely lost interest in working. She pulls Flynn down into a seat, her big eyes fixed on him with pure admiration. You're so cool. Can I get your contact? Flynn doesn't say no. They exchange numbers immediately. Hi, I'm Xia. Flynn. Xia lets out a delighted sound and asks sweetly, still in high school, right? Yeah. Xia watches the easy, unhurried way he handled Rex just now, and becomes even more certain. This Flynn is not ordinary. It hits her. The Lin family, second-ranked elite in the city. She looks at him with bold, confident eyes and makes her guess. Flynn, are you from the Lin family? Flynn raises his eyebrows, clearly caught off guard. She figured it out that fast. He presses his lips together in a smile and admits it openly. Smart girl. Xia eyes light up. I knew it. The way you carry yourself is exactly what a top family heir should feel like. You go to Maplewood? Flynn nods. Xia immediately becomes his biggest fan. Flynn, you were so cool just now. Flynn waves it off. Easy. That kind of person only pushes people who can't push back. But Xia shakes her head. Seriously. When he pulled the knife I froze, you could have gotten hurt. You saved me, Flynn. Flynn smiles. Internally, he's sighing at his own existence. This ridiculous magnetism. They've only been talking for a few minutes when Flynn finally sees my message. He stands and says goodbye immediately. I have to go, Xia. I'll take you to dinner next time. He turns and walks off with a wave. In the distance, I'm leaning against the car, and when I see him coming, I raise an eyebrow with a grin. Which girl had you held up? Flynn curves his mouth. Actually ran into someone pretty cute, pretty sweet. We get in the car laughing. The moment it starts moving, Flynn's expression goes serious. Wait, I saw Vera and Serena earlier. They looked hurt. What happened? I choose my words carefully. Today at the archery range, Serena and Vera got cornered. What? On school grounds? Flynn sits straight up, voice spiking. Who has that kind of nerve? I shake my head. Some outside crew. No idea how they got in. Flynn immediately grabs my hand and checks it over carefully. Sure enough, he finds the faint rope marks across my fingers. What happened to your hand? Did you get into it with them? I don't hide anything. I give him the quick version, the range, the fight, and finding out Yu Cheng was behind it. Flynn laughs out of pure outrage. Yu Cheng actually had the nerve to go after Serena. And Vera got hurt too? She must have lost her mind. I lean back in the seat, voice flat. Don't worry, Ash and I are on it. Flynn finally relaxes, then immediately pulls out his phone and scrolls the school forum. Someone posted footage from the scene. He watches and commentates his as he goes. Why isn't Serena hitting back? That's not like her. I press my hand to my forehead laughing. She had people pinning her down, but then Flynn's reaction shifts completely. Actually though, those moves Reese pulled were kind of impressive. I give up and change the subject. Stop watching. Where are we eating? Flynn pockets the phone immediately, full of concern. The new place my family just opened. You had a rough day, eat plenty. Driver, step on it. I'm starving. The car barely stops at the entrance before Flynn shoves the door open and pulls me inside. He goes straight to the manager and rattles off his order. One of every non-spicy signature dish, especially the crab roe tofu and the braised lion's head. We've barely sat down before Flynn slides the menu toward me. I take one look and push it straight back. You order. Every description reads like a warning label. Flynn clearly expected this. He smiles and checks off the dishes himself. Relax. I'll have them make yours separately. Zero spice, I promise. The server brings out the crab roe tofu. Flynn ladles a spoonful into my bowl himself. Try it. You're going to love it. I take a bite. My eyes light up immediately. This is amazing. Flynn goes insufferably smug and ladles me a bowl of soup too. Tomorrow I'm bringing you back for the new dessert, coconut taro sago. He knows how picky I am and quickly adds, I tested it this morning. I promise you'll like it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, Vera walks back into the Yu family home with fire in every step. She runs straight into the stepmother at the door, who sees the injuries on both their faces and immediately plasters on a smile. Vera, Serena, what happened? Did you get into a fight again? Vera is already burning and that performance makes it worse. She shoves past her. Don't touch me. The stepmother stumbles back, eyes going red immediately. Vera, I was only... Just then, a sharp voice cuts through. Marcus Yu takes one look at his daughter's dark expression, then at Serena's injuries behind her and erupts. Who had the nerve to lay a hand on someone from the Yu family? But the next second, Vera drops a bomb that shakes the room. Dad, Yu Cheng hired people to attack Serena and me, and she paid for it using an account from one of our shell companies. The stepmother's face locks up on the spot. She instinctively moves to protect her daughter, but Vera cuts her off before she can say a word. She drops the final card. This was personally verified by Ash and Reese. Hard evidence. Serena follows it up perfectly, laying out exactly how Yu Cheng conspired with their rival Leng Feng. One to suppress Vera, one to get revenge on Serena. By the time she finishes, Marcus's face has gone nearly black. He's about to say something when footsteps sound on the stairs. Yu Cheng limps down carefully, face arranged into pure innocence. Sis Serena, what happened to your faces? The stepmother immediately waves her over. Vera laughs coldly. Oh look, leg's not broken enough to stop you coming down. Still had time to hire people to deal with us? Yu Cheng's grip on her crutch suddenly tightens. She's furious, but she can't say a word. She settles for looking pitiful. Vera doesn't buy it for a second. She shoots to her feet and points straight at her. Stop the act. Were those people at the range yours? The stepmother holds her composure on the surface, but something cold drops through her chest. Watching the guilt written all over her daughter's face, Marcus is almost certain it was Yu Cheng who did this. He just never imagined his daughter would go this far behind his back, or dare touch someone from the Gu family. Yu Cheng finally starts to panic. She backs away as she speaks. Mom, I didn't do anything. That shell company account was given to my assistant ages ago. It must have been hacked. The moment she says it, the silence is so complete you could hear a pin drop. That was a confession hiding inside a denial. Vera moves to go after her, but Serena steps in front of her, eyes cold as crushed ice. We only asked whether it was you. Nobody mentioned which company account was used. How do you already know it was that account? And that's not all. Serena presses forward, puncturing every layer of the disguise. The room payment was made yesterday afternoon, when you were lying in bed with nothing to do, and those people came from out of town. Who else would specifically reach out to outside crew? Yu Cheng's eyes start to dart. She forces out a claim that she was visiting Shen Bing at the hospital. But Marcus is no fool. He watches her for a long moment, and his conclusion is already formed. He pulls out his phone and gives his assistant an absolute order. Pull Yu Cheng's movements from yesterday afternoon and the full transaction history on the company accounts. 30 minutes. He turns to Yu Cheng. If this traces back to you, don't think about staying in this family. Yu Cheng goes white as paper, standing there like she's fallen through ice. Vera lets out a heavy sound of contempt and pulls Serena down onto the sofa. They settle in to watch. Time passes. The atmosphere in the room is suffocating. Then, 30 minutes later, Marcus's phone rings. The assistant's voice comes through the silence with complete clarity. Sir, we have a full picture. The IP address used for the transfer is registered to Miss Yu Cheng's room. During that time, she also called an unknown number 3 times. That would be the middleman. The crutch drops from Yu Cheng's hand and hits the floor. She's sheet white, lips trembling. The performance completely collapses. She suddenly screams, Mom, I didn't want to. Someone forced me. The middleman threatened me. That's why I made the transfer. Enough. Marcus's palm slams the coffee table. The entire room freezes. The evidence is right there on the table. And you still want to argue? His chest heaves with fury. His hand shakes as he points at her. I put you in the company to learn, not to use the accounts to hire people to go after your sister's friends. The stepmother moves to rush to her daughter, but one single ice-cold look from Marcus drives her back. And you, don't say a word. You're the one who raised her with no limits. This is on you too. Right then, a blur of motion, a heavy thud, and Vera's fist has connected with the side of Yu Cheng's face. Yu Cheng's leg is already injured. The impact sends her stumbling backward into the coffee table. She crashes down, hands over her face, screaming. Blood seeps between her fingers. The stepmother shrieks and rushes over. Vera isn't done, but a cold hand locks around her arm and yanks her back. Don't dirty your hand. Serena's voice is ice and satisfaction. She holds Vera's fury in place and forces it down. Vera's chest heaves. She jabs a finger at Yu Cheng on the floor. If you want to fight for an inheritance, come at me. Going after Serena. Is that the best you've got? With that kind of ambition, even if the Yu family were handed to you, you couldn't hold it. Marcus watches the scene, face dark enough to frighten anyone. But he doesn't stop it. Instead, he delivers the final verdict right then and there. Effective immediately, every card you have is frozen, and you are never to set foot in this house again. Those words hit like a thunderclap. Yu Cheng's head snaps up, eyes wide with disbelief. The next second her knees buckle. She collapses onto the cold floor and starts bowing her head frantically, forehead going red with impact. Mom. Serena, I was wrong. I never really wanted the inheritance. I was blinded by my feelings. Marcus's brow pulls tight. Not for the inheritance? Then explain yourself. What comes next shatters every worldview in the room. Yu Cheng sobs uncontrollably. It's because of Leng Feng. I like him, but he only ever looks at Serena. I just wanted someone to teach Serena a lesson. Make her suffer a little. So Feng would feel sorry for me and finally notice me. I wanted a chance to show him I care. At that, Vera bursts out laughing. You almost had people kill your sister's friend for a guy to glance at you? Serena looks down at her from above, expression like something carved from glacier ice. Just scare me a little? Do you have any idea how close those people came to actually killing me? If it weren't for Ash, I don't want to think about what would have happened. With the truth fully exposed, whatever was left of Marcus's mercy runs dry. You did this for a man. Pack your things. You're going to the countryside. Marcus shows no softness and gives Yu Cheng no chance to beg. Without my permission, you will never set foot in this city again. The guard stepped forward and hauled the still crying, still screaming Yu Cheng up like she weighs nothing, and drag her straight out the door. As the crying fades into the distance, the last of Vera's fury finally begins to drain away. She can't help venting. What an idiot! I thought she at least had some ambition, and it turns out it's all over a guy like Leng Feng. Serena gives a small nod, eyes passing over the stepmother still wiping at her tears. Nothing but indifference. With the matter settled, Marcus rubs his temples, exhausted. He turns to Serena, face full of apology. Serena, I'm sorry you were put through this. I will personally come to your family to apologize. As for Leng Feng, I'll have someone deal with him properly. Serena's expression stays neutral. She's about to say something polite when Vera cuts in. What good is an apology? Send Serena that car from the last auction as your apology gift. Marcus goes blank for a second. That car cost him over $1 billion to bring in from overseas. The corner of Serena's mouth lifts the smallest amount because everyone knows it's the car Vera had been coveting for an entire month and never quite had the nerve to ask for. Thank you, uncle. Serena accepts graciously, expression perfectly composed. Vera watches her own father playing dead, not a word about the car, and doesn't bother arguing. She pats Serena's arm. Come on, let's eat. Marcus watches both of them walk away, and the tension finally eases from his face. Look after each other. Vera doesn't even turn around. She's already dragging Serena toward the dining table. You didn't need to tell us. Meanwhile, across the city, the Shen family villa has also erupted. Ash opens the front door and is immediately stunned by what she sees. Her usually poised and elegant mother is standing in a green cheapao, actively directing the servants to strip the place clean. Faster, take that vase, that ornament too. All of it. Pack it all in. 5 enormous suitcases stand in the center of the living room like a barricade, already stuffed beyond capacity, display shelves nearly bare. Ash surveys the carnage, brow twitching. Are we moving? Her mother looks up and lights up. Ash, perfect timing. Come look at the vase Mom brought back from France. Ash raises an eyebrow. So you two made up? You were in a full Cold War last month, and now you're packing together? Her father looks slightly caught out, but her mother just looks warm and flushed. Making up, not making up. That's just the seasoning in a marriage. We're going on a delayed honeymoon, 2 months. Before Ash can even process that, her mother rushes over and fixes Ash's collar with practiced affection. Ash, these 2 months, the house and the company are yours. Ash is completely speechless. The company, that's the Shen Group. Real estate, tech, luxury goods, thousands of executives alone. I'm 15. She tries to appeal to their conscience. 15 going on 16. Her father waves a hand, completely unapologetic. When I was your age, I was already sitting in on meetings with your grandfather. Besides, the vice presidents will hold things together. You just need to approve decisions. Her mother goes one further and delivers the legendary line. Think of it as practice. As long as you don't sell the company, Mom can cover whatever happens. Ash lets out a dry laugh and tugs at the corner of her mouth, completely out of arguments. Practice? They're handing her a trillion-yuan conglomerate as a toy. She turns to head upstairs for some peace, and her wrist gets grabbed. I heard Reese is back? Her mother's gossip instincts ignite completely, eyes glittering with mischief. And he's your seatmate? Come on, tell mom everything. How did you two make up? Ash pauses, attempting to deflect. Her mother sees through it immediately and pokes her in the back. Running away? I'm not going to eat you. Don't even think about telling me you're going to study. You finished university-level problems back in middle school. The excuse dies before it's even born. Ash keeps walking, spine perfectly straight. Leave her alone. Her father clicks shut the last suitcase and casually adds his own knife. Reese is back, and you're right there next to him. Strike while the iron's hot and bring him home. Her mother nods frantically. Exactly. Reese is popular. Don't fall behind. Don't let some other girl get there first. Ash doesn't even look back. Her voice is flat and clear. Bringing someone home by force doesn't align with Shen family values. Then from behind comes her father's scoff. Family values? When I was chasing your mother, I snuck out every antique your grandfather had hidden and used them as offerings. Ash's steps stop dead. Then she continues to her room. She's just finished showering when her phone buzzes hard on the desk. The screen lights up. A pin chat jumps with a little sun sticker, then that familiar avatar bouncing rapidly. Ash, you're on. My sister just released a beta version of her new game. I'll carry you. Ash towels her wet hair with one hand. The corner of her mouth curves. She types back 2 words. Coming. The next morning. Thornfield High. I've just reached the 2nd floor when a sharp sound pierces the air. At the stairwell, Leng Feng and 2 followers have a slight figure cornered hard against the wall. Mo Song has a death grip on that battered bag, face completely white, shaking from head to toe. Before I even catch what Leng Feng is saying, he shoves Mo Song hard into the wall with a vicious look. A dull thud. I click my tongue. Something cold slides through my eyes as I walk over without rushing. Hey! Leng Feng turns on instinct, sees me, and his face goes stone gray. Why are you everywhere? The 2 followers behind him think back to yesterday, and both take a reflexive step back. I point down toward Class A with a playful smile, probably because I happen to share a class with Serena, or because I'm connected to the school board. Leng Feng's neck goes red with fury. He only found out last night that Thornfield's top 5 ranking had been reshuffled, and he was the only one bumped off. The one who took his spot is standing right in front of him. Old grudges and new ones flood in together. Leng Feng lunges. I slip sideways with half a step, putting Mo Song neatly behind me. Leng Feng hits nothing. His foot slides and he nearly goes down. When he turns, his eyes are vicious. You dare dodge? Why wouldn't I? I tap the railing lightly, voice flat as ice. What? You want to make a scene here? In front of the whole school? Let everyone see exactly what you're made of? Those words hit like cold water. The fire goes out. As bold as he is, he knows this is school grounds. If it escalates, the school getting involved is not a risk he can take. But the humiliation of being knocked off his pedestal burns too hard to swallow. He settles for glaring daggers at Mo Song. My business with her has nothing to do with you. It does now. I glance at Mo Song's terrified face behind me and look back with eyes that carry nothing but cold. Either you leave right now, or I go get Ash. Leng Feng's face cycles through colors. His follower quickly grabs his arm. Feng, just drop it. If Ash gets involved, shut up! Leng Feng shakes the follower off hard, but he doesn't dare move closer. He fixes me with one last cutting look. Don't think this is over. Then he leaves with his crew. Once they've disappeared, I turn to Mo Song. It's okay. Mo Song slowly lifts her head, eyes red, thanking me quietly. Thank you, Reese. Why didn't you go to a teacher? I glance at the bag clutched to her chest, genuinely puzzled. Mo Song's head drops lower. Her voice goes almost inaudible. My mom said don't bother teachers, and I was scared the teacher would side with Leng Feng. I can't help laughing at that. Come on, I'll take you. If you'd reported it earlier, someone like Leng Feng who only picks on easy targets would have been writing apology letters until his hand cramped. But the moment I reach toward her, Mo Song flinches back like a startled rabbit. She bows quickly, voice rushed and flustered. No, thank you, Reese. I have homework to submit. She doesn't even finish the sentence before she's hugging her bag and running. My hand stays frozen in midair. I let out a helpless sigh. This girl is impossibly timid. What is she running from? I don't push it. I turn and drift back to class. At the door, Ash is in the prime window seat looking at her phone. I walk straight over and pull out the chair beside her. Ash looks up, eyes scanning my face. You look a bit off today. Do I? I touch my cheek, unbothered. Nothing. Just caught a little performance of someone bullying the weak. Bullying the weak? Ash's hand pauses, eyes sharpening immediately as she looks me over. Did someone go after you? Ash doesn't ask more. She taps her screen twice. I understand immediately. I grab my phone and look. Last night's messages, all unread. I make a guilty sound and rush to explain. I fell asleep, didn't get to them. Ash rests her chin in one hand, smiling without a word. Figured. Just then, Elliot turns around from the row in front and passes back 2 test papers. I've barely shoved them into my desk when a commotion breaks out at the door. Serena and Vera walk in one after the other, looking like they've just escaped a war zone, especially Vera, dark circles deep under her eyes. She yawns before she's even through the door. She reaches her seat and doesn't bother pulling out the chair, just kicks the desk leg and collapses down. Everything about her reads, "Don't touch me." Zara, sharp-eyed as ever, glances between the 2 of them and calls out loudly, "Vera, Serena, what happened? Did you rob someone's house last night?" That one line pulls the whole class's attention. The video of the bald guy attacking them yesterday had already gone everywhere. Faced with everyone pressing for details, Ash says nothing. Vera is too tired to even lift her eyelids. She just reaches over and nudges Serena. Serena gets the signal. She keeps her face blank, voice completely flat. We dismantled a household. The whole class goes dead silent. Dismantled a household? Ash tilts her chin toward Vera. Vera drops into her chair heavily and massages her temples in a spiral of complaints. Don't even ask. My dad had me and Serena going over everything until 4 in the morning. Apologizing to the GU family 1 minute, ranting about Yu Cheng the next. My ears perk up. I catch the key word. Resolved? Vera pulls herself together slightly and gives me an approving look. You've got a good head on you. You called it exactly. It was Lang Feng. Ash, hearing the full story, delivers one perfectly casual verdict. That brain wouldn't even qualify for donation. I nod vigorously beside her. Genuinely impressive levels of stupidity. Completely empty upstairs yet still goes straight for the worst possible ideas. Only he would actually hire people to go after Serena. The warning bell barely finishes ringing when another disturbance hits the door. Lang Feng is standing there. Expression dark, eyes locked on Serena. His voice is low but urgent. Serena, come out for a second. Everyone in Class A rolls their eyes. Him again? Does he still not know his place? Serena, barely alive from exhaustion, doesn't even look up. Her voice drops temperature like a stone. Anything to say can wait until after class. Lang Feng's face flushes and he moves forward half a step, unwilling to let go. It's important. Just 2 minutes. This time Serena doesn't even move her eyelids. No need. Those 2 words are a public execution. Lang Feng shatters. His face drains white and he starts raging at the door. Serena, did someone tell you something? Is that why you deleted me? And she hit me yesterday. At that I almost laugh out loud. So he got deleted. No wonder he's been biting at everything like a rabid dog. Fine.